please, Matt?
Fitch. Here. Stancil.
Here.
Hobbs.
Here. All right, I'll entertain a motion to approve the agenda. Do I have a second?
Yeah.
Second. All in favor, please vote aye. Aye. All opposed, motion carries. Okay, we're now in the handbook review work session. We're just gonna go through the handbook page by page. If you guys have it up on your computer or you have printed. Okay. All right, so Jess, you provided a spreadsheet, and Diane, you gave input directly, and you color-coded everything, Kelly, so thank you for that. It makes it a lot easier to go through. So we'll just start from the top and work our way through. I did not have a lot of feedback, because, I mean, Jess, you touched on a lot. I also have some comments, so as we go through it, for my feedback on stuff, but. All right, so the first one is in the table of contents. Looked like it was red, something was red there.
Yeah, that's,
That
that
was just,
came through from going from a PDF to a Word document. I'm just gonna have to retype that.
That's okay.
I couldn't get it to.
That's okay.
Oh, it's.
Yeah.
So we're really paid for page 4 on the blue.
Yes.
so, Jess, you wanted to add that the handbook complies with all the applicable Iowa Code Chapter statement. You wanted to put a statement in there. I don't see an issue with that. If
I think it's fine. I kind of want it reworded because.
Absolutely.
Well, I think she just cut and pasted
I know,
what she wanted
I
there,
know.
but say,
Yeah,
maybe
because
have Allers and
Iowa
Cody do that.
code can change in the middle of the year.
Yeah,
I'm okay with it if it's
as of
reworded.
the print, or the approved,
As
as
of the
of such
approved
and
date.
such date, maybe.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
So
We can have Allers read one of
Yeah.
those things that they do.
so Kelly, are you making notes then to give to A? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So then she can ask their guidance on how to word that.
All right, so go on to the next. We wanna add the window and ramp project to all the stuff that's been done. I think that's a good idea.
Where are you?
I'm on page 5, sorry.
Oh, down at the bottom.
Yeah, down at the bottom, this was a Jess suggestion that, cause we listed all the things we've done, and she suggested adding the window and
Okay.
ramp project.
Yeah, under the county history section.
Yeah, that's okay.
Everybody's okay with that?
Okay. Alright, move on to the next one is employee classification under full-time employees. That's in red, and then you have a comment. Does someone wanna explain that?
It just said you can accrue leave, so I spelled out what kind of leave that they can use.
Okay,
And then, I keep a folder of all employee suggestions, so that I wasn't sure where to put that,
Oh.
call out next to it, but, said I would ask.
okay. So the ask is, for the county to provide gym memberships?
Reimbursement for employees who belong to a gym.
Okay. That could be something we certainly talk about as maybe our benefits.
Okay.
Probably not a handbook thing, but we can certainly talk about then.
Sure.
So I'm sure we'll have a date of that soon coming, so.
17.
So we'll do that under budgets. I agree.
Okay, the next one is comp time. I know this has been a conversation we've had several times, and you added a comment under some employees get comp time, others don't. I don't know what the real rules are on that. There seems to be, and I'd like some consistency across departments.
That's what I want. I want it all the same, and that's what I wrote, consistent.
Okay, so what do you guys think should be?
I hate to sound like a Scrooge, but I'm really, if you're a salaried employee, I've never known anywhere that gets comp time if you're salaried.
It
And
depends on
some
the employer.
departments do it, some don't, correct?
That's correct.
Yes, and they're not paid out for comp time, it's just, you work an extra 2 hours on a Monday, and then you can take 2 hours off early on a Friday.
Well,
Is that how it is really?
Yeah.
Can they occur it, can they?
well, what I would suggest is call it flex time and not document it on the payroll advice.
Okay,
So if they're, have time and then just keep it in that alternate.
So who would track that flex time then?
The manager?
The manager would, okay.
So
So
the
just
department
like that.
head?
Yeah.
Okay.
And for those employees where they do get reimbursed for comp time, do we have anybody that is hourly? We do, and that's tracked on the payroll.
Yeah,
Now,
that's
this is-
okay.
That's okay, so this is just be salary
Correct.
for flex, okay, what do you think about that, Jess? Calling it flex time for salaried and comp time for hourly?
For hourly, it'd be
Or-
the same.
Well,
It'd all be
flex time is
flex
just not documented on the paycheck,
They
is what
just
I
have to keep
understand.
track and take it off
They just
within.
have to take it off.
How long,
Comp time does
how long
say.
are we gonna let them keep it before they have to, do they lose it if they keep it too long?
So that's another discussion, I'm wondering if we need to involve Allerson Community in that.
Because,
Yeah, cause there's, when we get further down, there's page 36, overtime comp time, and I wanted to put some thresholds in there. I know people build that up and then they leave and we have a big hefty payout, that I'd like to have a limit of how much they can roll over. So that's in line with what we're talking about here as well, right?
so we'll address it in the farther along.
When we do that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, alright. Okay, moving on. You put, your suggestion, Kelly, was for other employees not to sign each other's time cards. Is that something that occurs, or we just wanna document it so it's in here?
It has occurred in the past and it jams us right up. We can't do it.
Just because it wasn't in here,
Okay.
I thought it needs to be.
Okay,
And then a signature is required from the employee, right?
Yes.
okay, alright. Okay, I think that's a good idea. Moving onward. So this one, we wanna add the Pregnancy Discrimination Act, Pregnant Workers Fairness Act, that's what you gave us here. I had never heard of it, Jess, before you put that in there, so, I think that's a good idea to document that, and regarding lactation breaks,
Yep.
that
But
they'll be-
you can't do that, so you're doing it with their breaks, because if you've ever pumped, you have to, sometimes it can't be on your break, sometimes it has to be when it has to be.
That's right, I think we should have some verbiage that they have some flexibility with
Yeah,
that.
they have to have
So their breaks can
flexibility.
be flexed.
Yes,
Maybe it's outside of the break.
yes,
Like your break does not include your lactation break.
Right.
So you will still get your legally obligated breaks and then you will get any time you need to go pump.
yeah, because it doesn't last that long. I think so too, because,
It's still important.
no, it's okay.
Okay.
Because if you have, when you have to, you have to.
Yeah.
So we wanna put it in there to where they have their regular breaks and then the lactation breaks, and then are those gonna be paid or unpaid, the lactation breaks? I don't know what the law is. The law
I think it
Law
has
is
to be
you don't-
paid.
It,
Is that-
you don't,
Oh, you don't, okay.
have to be paid, but I think it's kind of,
I agree,
Yeah,
I think we
it's-
should absolutely pay for
I do,
lactation
okay.
breaks.
So if so, then we need to document it in here,
Yeah.
so there's no confusion.
We'll add
if you
that.
look, let's see here. So, the first paragraph, the page I gave you,
Mhm.
it talks about, you do have to do the private non-bathroom space.
Mhm.
Let's see here. Unpaid break time, it does say, but
I don't
Think
wanna
you
do
should.
that.
Don't want to do what, Diane?
I don't wanna do unpaid if they have to go.
Oh, no, I would like to pay over.
Okay.
But the question on the private space, what's that look like, and especially with different buildings?
Courthouse uses the third floor, the annex, uses Randy's office, she had a curtain put in, and she has a door.
Nice,
I'm not sure about the other locations, if that's come up.
okay.
You could use this room if you have to, cause that was
It's very
very
loud in
quiet.
there, though.
I wouldn't care.
Some people might. So, okay, so we're gonna document that
What does secondary roads and sheriff's department, have you guys had this come up? Do you have a lactation space?
We do, yes.
Okay.
We can use one of our offices.
You do. I bet secondary roads, you don't have lactation.
We don't have a lot of that.
You don't?
But, just like Sheriff Barnes said, we have an office
Yeah.
space. We
Okay.
probably
That would be
dedicate towards that,
private.
yeah, private.
Okay.
Okay.
EMS uses one of the sleep rooms.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've got plenty of space for
Okay.
it's private there.
We have doors to lock so people can't just walk in.
Right.
Yeah, they can shut it, yeah, they
Yeah.
all can.
Okay, so we'll get some clarification language in there. Thanks for catching that, Jess. Okay, and then there's a couple, it looks like there's some red, like, is that corrections to add words in here?
Yeah.
Or is that just a carryover from
Uh,
technology
It's,
issue?
it's wording
Okay,
that was added due to, just
just to clarify.
employee concern, yes.
Okay.
I like it.
Okay.
That's fine.
All right, well, it brings us down to dress code. And this wording, I don't know if this is your word, whose word, is this your wording, Kelly?
I have issues with
Right.
dress code. I think, I don't want holy jeans, words on t-shirts, which we have. I think you should be professional. That's just my, I know that shows my age,
Man, back in the day when all the employees got so excited to see if they had jeans day on Friday, you know?
Yeah.
Come a long way from there.
But, I know we've had this discussion before, this predates you, Jess. I know you, me, and, Phil had this discussion before. And there's a delicate balance when you have elected officials as department heads, and then they can set their own rules to a certain extent. I mean, we can certainly put it in the handbook, but it is up to them on whether what they direct their employees is permissible or not. So that's the kind of, I'm a little leery about that. We can certainly put it in here,
And run it by Ehlers and see.
right, but if we have department heads that push back, say on holy jeans, Diane, I don't know.
I wouldn't specifically say holy jeans. I just wonder if we could say,
Professional attire?
professional attire or business attire or
Or business casual?
business casual, well, because I think it does reflect on the public.
Yeah. If you say professional attire though, that would mean no jeans. We're not saying no jeans, are we?
Well, the department head can say jeans on Friday if they're nice jeans, I don't care, but I just think it should be business attire maybe, or,
Well, most in the private sector, Diane, most are going, business casual now.
that's fine with me.
So, I'm not sure you want business attire, cause that implies suits. And I think we'd have a mutiny if
Business
we required
casuals,
that.
okay, business.
So, I think if we just put business casual, and some of the language in there though, I like the clean and all undergarments properly covered, I don't think
Yeah.
that's a problem putting that in there. And I refrain from political statements, music bands, alcoholic beverages, well, I think that's all appropriate, to put in there. I just hesitate on
Well,
specific.
business casual's fine.
You find that, okay, could you,
Just had a question, like on the business casual, of course,
Well, you wear uniforms.
but then I'm thinking of my kids, guys are gonna be out digging ditches, they're probably not
No,
gonna.
no.
live
it
in-
doesn't apply to them.
I'm
That's a good
just
point.
gonna say, I mean, I'm just gonna throw that out there.
Sure,
those guys are dressed.
No.
I would recommend,
Really good.
Yeah.
Uniforms are not required.
Yeah, this would be the elected.
I would definitely have it reviewed by a professional person to
Yes.
get the wording there. I think
See it sit out there.
what is worn, let's say that right, what people are wearing in the workplace is evolving into things, and I think it's I would definitely seek professional wording on that.
Yeah.
So Kelly, would you
Got it.
wordsmith that into
And-
something, you kinda get the feel of what we're looking for?
And one thing to clarify, the definition of business casual, when I just pulled up, that includes closed-toed shoes. So, in the summertime, a lot of women wear sandals, I know I wear sandals in the summer, are we saying no sandals, or, I mean, Of course, if they're in secondary roads or they're in another, you know, work out in the field, the sheriff's department or EMS, absolutely, that's not appropriate.
Let's differentiate probably the
Office versus,
offices,
yeah,
and then we'll,
no slippers, flip flops.
Or you could say business casual and like open toe sandals or
Professional sandals.
yeah, I think we can do that. Yeah,
We
no
can
flip-flops.
tweak it somehow that,
They can work on the wording.
okay,
We're all in agreement though that you should look.
yeah.
Yeah.
We are, okay.
Yep. Okay, moving on, the next one is job posting and application procedures. I know there's a additional wording added in here, the 6-month time frame may be waived.
See, this is mine, I think you should be here 6 months. Oh, I
So you wanna
think
remove
years. No, I want it in there,
Oh.
6-month time frame with a written consultant in place immediate supervisor. I kinda want you 6 months before you start moving around, but you
Well,
want,
that's
it
in,
may be
well,
waived.
that's in there.
But
may
it
be
says
waived.
may be waived, I
Right.
don't know that I wanna waive it. That's more on you, what are your thoughts?
Well, if there's if there's a position that we need filled and this person has the skill set, and you wanna be able to weigh what's the best place for that person.
Well, I get
For the
that,
county.
but I don't want a new hire that, I want them here 6 months before they start being bumped around.
Does that apply just to the full-time?
Can I,
Yeah,
isn't it
absolutely.
worded in there, it's up to the department?
Mhm.
Yes.
She
I mean,
does-
there
she
are
wants to
times,
take
there
that
are
out.
times, I'm starting to become an expert down there of turnover,
Mhm.
and there are times where it would be a good thing to get somebody in another slot right away.
So we'll leave
But
6.
but I also understand the point of, well, I've been interviewing here last couple weeks, and honestly, and I tell a lot of the people that I interview that it just may sound funny, but it takes 5 years to go through the cycle.
I know.
So, but, again, right now, where we're at with our workforce, if somebody can do the job, because we're short people, it would be nice to be able to evaluate them and put them in there. Now,
Okay.
we still have things in this that do take care of that. I believe you're still a probationary employee no matter what, which, that, even though you get, let's say, bumped from laborer to an operator, you're still a probationary employee. You could extend maybe that 6 months, I think the wording's there again, so.
Yeah, if you
Yeah,
move,
right,
then
right.
you start over
So,
your.
so there still is a process to evaluate that person through.
Okay, so we're gonna leave it. I wrote the 6-month time frame may be waived with a written consent of employer's immediate supervisor or designee in human resources. So you're good.
I think it should be checked out, yeah.
Oh, it's okay, all right,
Okay.
I'm okay with that.
So, one of the things one of the comments on this is, 2 things. One, on here it says that, HR will receive the applications. Should we make that HR and the department head?
Well, it
So-
says employee's immediate supervisor or designee and human resources and department head, all right.
For receiving applications.
Oh, all right.
I'm on that section, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to jump, but I'm on that section where it says, right now, for receiving application, HR gets it. I'm wondering, cause they can program this when people submit it online, to where the HR person would get it and the department head would get the application. So, so they have a chance to look at it as well. I'd like that option, to give that option to our department heads, what do you guys think?
That's a kind of a messy process.
Okay.
It goes to, when it, comes into my inbox, it is addressed to me, but it's also addressed to the applicant who put in the application, and Elizabeth, Werner, who is a website specialist at
Okay.
Solutions.
Okay,
So I don't know if they've got that process nailed in yet.
okay.
So we'll, okay.
Let's look at that and see if they can do that to where, and, cause I know other counties have done that on their website. And I've talked over this with Solutions before, but it's been kind of backburner, to where you apply for it and it has the drop down on which position, and then when you send it, it goes to the HR person, it goes to, the department head who's posting the position automatically. It's not sending everything to one person. So what I don't want is to have every department head on there, and then, say Michelle, get every single application for roads, for EMS, and all that kind of stuff, because that is not what my intent is. So, if they can't do it, they can't do it. But maybe something to look at, if they can do it. What do you guys think, if they can do it?
I don't
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay, so, I'll make a note of that.
Where are you taking this from, what?
It was, I
Under
have a
job
note
posts?
on 2.9 under job posting. It's the
Oh, all
first
right.
paragraph, human resources need to be notified of
All right.
openings and will receive all applications. I just wanted to add human resource and the department head on there,
Yeah.
so. We'll see if technology can
Department
accommodate.
If solutions can.
Okay. Moving on. Looks like we just had some grammar improvements on page 10. Correct? Okay.
Correct.
And then, let's see, we're on to retirement, termination of employment. Jess, I know this is one that you had, some notes on. This is the carryover, I think, for when people leave.
Well, first one, you're okay with page 11, case by case, so now you're on page 12.
So case by case,
Okay, so that's great.
yes, I like, oh, yeah.
Alright, so now you're on page 12, okay, final checks. So there's your.
Right, so Jess, you had put in, we need a policy to limit comp time, so we're not rolling over, you know, weeks of comp time. I agree with that. I think that's a good way to, one, encourage employees to take the time off that they need and deserve, and two, to prevent any kind of surprises from a budget standpoint. So did you wanna kind of flesh out what your thoughts were on that?
I think we need to just limit it, so we don't have a situation, you know, is it 40 hours can roll over or is it, you know, just if we cap how many they can roll over, then we know we're not gonna be stuck with a big payout if they decide to leave. I'm flexible on one amount.
May I-
So, yes.
May I suggest the way the road department is, I think it's in their union contract wordage. 40 hours is the max, and it is paid out at the fiscal year. So, once the fiscal year sets, if you have 40, it gets paid out. So you can always budget and plan for it. And it's
no
capped.
rollover.
There's no rollover.
Okay.
And that works out pretty well. If you look at our leave policies, again, I've been doing a lot of interviewing and going through this. If you look at a lot of, when you're trying to competitively hire people, a lot of places are, your leave time when you first start is a little more. Ours isn't. So like, for example, you have to work a week before you get which I don't have a problem with that. But that's a mechanism for us in the road department to say, well, if you need some more time, you can bank 40 hours and take it accordingly, especially, most of our overtime is winter. We've had a good winter so far, so we don't have a lot of overtime. That's the way they handle it, we handle it down
So we'll go 40 hours max,
Well-
paid out at fiscal year, no rollover. I like.
here. Well, that's just the way we do it.
Yeah,
It's
it's okay.
entirely up to you guys on what you
We
decide.
can make it consistent.
I like it.
I do too.
So the question is, what do we do with those that currently have more than 40?
May I make a suggestion there too?
Absolutely.
Okay, over my time here, these decisions, just, it happens. One of the cleaner ways to do it, is to draw a line in the sand. You say, new employees after this date, this is how it's handled. That way you don't necessarily upset the people that are here. You probably do not have a lot of, just thinking about the people, you don't have a lot of older, long employees. I just speak from the secondary road department. So it would not affect a lot of people. Right?
Okay, so you're saying, people that with over 40, starting a certain date, that's it, we're paid out 40 hours max, paid out at fiscal year, no rollover, so we won't take it away from them, we'll just start from, that's.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then
it'll just eventually
So-
they'll.
Yeah, just stop.
it'll
So
run
like,
out, yeah.
you know, that was something years ago with the secondary road department. You know, as part of the union talks and agreements in the handbook that we had at one time, we actually had like 400 hours of personal leave.
Yeah.
And the way they've got that whittled down is they just said, okay, we've gotta change this. And it got down to what it is, 4 hours and 120, and to keep the people that were still had stuff on the books, they just said, okay, if you were hired after this date, July 1 of 2026, then you're not eligible for that. It's the new policy, and it's right in
Okay.
the wording.
So starting.
So as the people that retired that you knew that were on it, you know, there are very few, maybe 5 or 6 of that group. Once they're gone, then you can get rid of that wording completely.
So start date would be July
Whatever
1,
you guys decide.
2026, that's
Yeah.
right, it's at fiscal year, okay.
Yeah, so,
Again, I'm sorry, I don't mean to be,
No, it's great.
No, that's okay. Obviously, this would only apply to those that get paid comp time.
Right.
Not the ones that are not paid. So, and you had asked, you'd also mentioned, Jess, about extending the final work date if vacation is used. I read this section and it seems to be contradictory. There's a couple different sections to where it says you can't use your vacation to extend out your last day. And then there's another section that says you can. So I'm kind of confused as to what the actual policy is
Yeah,
on that.
where are we at here?
You were, it was in section 2.13.
So you went backwards, okay.
So, I don't know if that's addressed anywhere on this section here. Maybe I'm in the wrong section, maybe that's benefits.
can I add a little history to that?
Yeah.
If it's okay? There was a time here where, again, you know, benefits were, that's what they negotiated at, and that's where it was, and a lot of it was maybe union-based, but, a couple things changed as it evolved, and I think that's where that wording got changed, is people would, when they would go to retire, and they had vacation on the books, they would just continue to be on vacation. And then they would stay on the insurance. Well,
Yeah.
as we know, insurance has changed, laws have changed. IPERS even looks at that differently now. And that's why there has to be a separation of, okay, I'm gonna retire on this date, but I can't extend my,
No.
so you can't. So I think that's why that wording got in there to kind of clean that up. It probably needs to be worded a little better.
Yeah.
It does, yeah.
And again, that's not just, I think that's part of bigger pictures of law changes and the way things are governed today versus the way it used to be.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm not quite sure, I'm just reading your notes, Jess, and I'm trying to find where we were talking about extending final, but I remember reading it.
Well,
And we got it
let's
two
go
different
down the
places.
page.
Well, the notes in blue are on, 2.13. We need a policy to limit comp time to 40 hours, allow carryover year, and the way payout should be, blah, blah, blah. But I mean, we just need to run this by Ehlers, right, and try to be as consistent as we can, and make sure that it's consistent throughout the handbook.
Right, and so do we know if it's a law that what date whatever your last day is, that's your last day, you can't extend out, you can't use your vacation to extend out, cause I know
That's-
people have done that.
That's a
People-
legal question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
People
you
have done
shouldn't
that.
do it, because then if we're liable for their insurance.
Well, I think,
I think it's a risky business.
I think a lot of that changed once, you know, government healthcare kicked in. I'm sorry, but the laws changed.
You have to offer them COBRA now and, go through that process.
So,
So if we can check with Ehlers, Kelly can check with them and see, yeah, is there a way to just protect us from them dragging that out and paying health insurance for a few more months?
yeah, because I know that's happened in the past, where we had employees that their last day was, say, March first, but yet we paid them through April first, and they work here, and then they had benefits, so
Yes.
we need to figure out what the actual law is on that. So, and I thought that was under this section, but I guess it's not.
So you're down to 2.14.
Well, and I don't even know where the appropriate section is, cause we've also got 212 retirement termination of employment that
Right.
it would fall under.
Right.
So maybe that's an Ehlers, just where it should be referenced to, Kelly, to ask Ehlers, what's the appropriate place?
Okay.
I'm not sure of the answer on that.
No.
Okay.
So, yeah,
Looks like the next highlight is 2.14.
yeah.
It says,
Yeah.
take this rehired status should not be revealed.
That should say HR, best practice.
Okay.
You don't answer it.
Okay, so
Okay.
just leave it, okay.
Okay. Medical examination, that's highlighted. I don't know why, is that highlighted just to reword, or is
So
that
it means
just
you need a doctor's note to return, is that what it means?
Yes.
Okay.
Whether your injury may have happened at work or at home or wherever, you need to have a doctor's note saying you're
You can come
able
back.
to come back, yeah. and
Well,
do
that's
your-
normal, all right.
Alright, and 3.2, equal employment opportunity, affirmative action, removing gender identity, cause Iowa code removed it,
Okay.
need to do that. Moving on to the next one. Let's see. In 3.3, I think that was already taken care of, just as the,
Yeah, that would be covered.
disability
by-
non-discrimination policy, the pregnancy one.
That would be covered by that Pump Act, Pregnant Workers
Yeah.
Fairness Act,
Do
wouldn't
we
it?
need do we need to cite it in this section
Maybe
though,
cite it
too?
there too.
Under where are you citing it?
3.3, disability non-discrimination policy,
Cite the,
not that,
cite lactation. Got it.
okay, now we're on, let's see, 3.5, respectful work environment policy. We see some wording there that was added to make it just clear that our included part, and then you had some comments about this, Jess.
Yeah.
Regarding consensual sexual or intimate activity that creates a conflict of interest, involves a power imbalance, or occurs during work hours and affects performance.
Well, and this is one of those that I think applies in several different categories as well. And the way that it's worded is the anti-nepotism policy, that this, no romantic relationships only applies to
Family.
direct reports,
Yeah.
direct supervisors. But my concern is there are positions of authority in this county, that span the county. Like, for example, the board. We should not be allowed to have a romantic relationship with a county employee because we have some authority over their jobs
True.
and their
Yeah.
budgets. You know, I think the same would apply to several different positions here, so I would like to expand this to make sure that we are protecting ourselves from future sexual harassment claims if there's a romance gone bad.
Yeah. Kinda like never date. I'm sorry, what?
How does that look with pre-existing relationships, especially for elected officials? I mean,
Oh, you
because-
mean, so they're
so, like,
elected
you
and they're
could tell-
already
Yeah.
engaged to somebody that works here?
Yeah, or married or something.
Well, I'd
That'd be
like to
an
get
added
Ehlers,
section,
I communicated with them a little bit on this, but, I think we need to get some definition from them on what this looks like.
Okay.
I don't think it's tight enough, I think it's pretty loosey-goosey and it's potentially opening us up for some risk.
Cause you're right, yeah, if a relationship goes bad, that can impact county business.
A lot of things, yeah.
Okay, well, I think we probably should refer that to Ehlers,
That's
to kind
what
of come up
we
with
are,
some
Yeah.
language
Yeah, and they
there.
provided like the anti-nepotism law, but it doesn't really expand and cover this piece of it.
Mhm.
So, yeah, I'd like to get their thoughts on it if the board agrees.
Yeah.
I agree with this very strict. I think if you're fooling around with a fellow employee and you're married, you should be released from employment.
Well, times are a little different now.
I don't care, I don't think, it
So-
just makes it miserable working.
Well, I'm not denying that, you should never date people you work with, in my opinion, but, you know, people can do what they wanna do. As long as it doesn't interfere with work, that's all that
It
matters.
interferes with.
And if it's not somebody in the position of authority.
Maybe they like 70% of all romances start. It's like, that's a fact.
Yeah, now I'm showing my. Okay, moving on to that, we'll let Allers and Cooney take the lead on that one.
Excuse me.
Okay, so where are we at now?
Oh, there's
Page
a-
15, it's even consensual sexual conduct demonstrations, she's added demonstrations and communications, which is good.
Mhm.
And then the next page 16, policy violations may have legal consequences. Okay.
So, and then.
Oh, I wondered on.
You had, where are we at? We're on 4, I'm sorry,
You're
my
on page
spreadsheet,
17
jumped
at the
here.
bottom.
You're okay with 16, Diane?
Yeah.
Yeah. So 3.6.
Down at the bottom, Jess, somebody in blue, that's Jess, is added, providing open meetings, open records are maintained, okay.
Yeah, and that's all, and a whole other subsect, I think we need to have an open records policy and define the costs, the fees and the limits on that.
We've been trying to do that for a while now. I know it started under, Matt Schultz was working on it, and then Aaron was working on it, and then it just kind of died on the vine. So I think it's time that we have an open records policy that's clear, that's published, and that so both the public and, county employees know what the rules are. So I'm not sure who we should task to putting that together.
Allers, don't you think?
Or I'll sure ask, but the, and so like HIPAA, health-related information.
can't divulge
Yeah.
any.
No, we can't divulge anything.
They've already got it.
So, okay, so now we're at the nepotism 4.1.
And
Right
we
in the
discussed,
middle.
Sort of changes.
yeah, that's another category where we discussed my concerns.
Well, yeah, cause harassment the
Yeah.
definition of harassment has expanded over the years. So we wanna make sure we include all of that,
Yeah.
legal requirements for that.
And then Jeffrey had the nepotism and anti-fraternization policy that he provided a draft on,
Okay,
so I'm okay.
This might have to be careful, what if you have a lawyer upstairs that eventually marries an EMT? I mean, and what do we care if we don't,
well, I think that the concern.
as long as there's nothing ever happening at work, it's not our business if we
Well,
don't.
there's the other thing and I don't have an issue with that, but my point is that, is there perceived power imbalance? I think that's what this is addressing. Is there a perceived power imbalance to the example you got, board of supervisors, you know? So I wanna make sure that we include that, because that could be considered, you know, if things go bad, they get divorced or whatever, if there's a power imbalance, that could cause a problem. So I don't know how to word it, and I think we need to kind of let
It's a
Allers.
legal thing.
I
Allers
think
do
both
that.
of these paragraphs need to be legal, Allers needs to do.
Which
Yeah.
ones are you on, Diane?
I'm on yours, harassment of list of unacceptable behavior, and then right under it,
The two
you've
blue.
added, I'm okay with Jeffrey's nepotism and anti-fraternization. I think those two are probably okay, but Allers needs to check that.
Yeah, I think we
I
all agree on
haven't
that.
seen that policy,
The document that
The
you said
brief.
you have.
Oh, did he not? I'll I'll send it.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen it either.
I haven't either. Oh,
You
yeah,
just
I
sent me
think we
some
did
drafts.
see. Yeah, you sent the draft.
It is? Okay.
Yeah, you sent it, I think we've seen it.
I can kick it out so it's at the
Let's
top
just
of your
make the
email.
wording as careful on this.
You wanna just resend it and include Kelly, so
Uh-huh.
we all have it at the top of our
Yep.
mind. Okay. That brings us down to county vehicles.
Page 19, 4.3.
Yeah, 4.3. Looks like we're adding, are we adding vaping or vaping's already in there?
No, we're adding it.
We're adding it. Okay, I think that's a good idea. Do we wanna are we adding vaping? I know we're in county vehicles, but are we gonna add vaping to like buildings, internal buildings too?
Next section.
Okay.
Or,
Okay.
yeah.
Alright, so are you guys all in agreement adding that to the county vehicles?
Yeah.
And one thing that you had mentioned, no use of county vehicles for personal business, which I think is a good idea. But I also think we need to add that no non-county employees should be in county vehicles. That's a huge liability.
Isn't that an insurance thing to where they
Yeah,
shouldn't be
you can't
allowed, cause
take
they're not
people
gonna
in.
get covered, insurance coverage in our.
I think it is, but we need to put it in the
It
handbook.
needs to be defined, yeah.
Yeah.
Non-county employees can ride in
Yeah.
county
Yeah,
employees.
cannot ride in,
Except the ambulance.
well,
I'm joking.
okay.
Well, you'd also have law enforcement, they're gonna be riding in a.
Well, I guess we need to word it in such a way to where
I was being.
Put non-emergency.
non-emergency, non-law enforcement, or non, I don't know how to word it. We'll ask Allers to word it.
Non-emergency.
But I think we need to have it in there specifically, because we should not, say for instance, you can't pick up your kid at work.
Right.
You know what I mean, at school rather, in a work vehicle, we don't want that, because if something happens, that's a huge liability.
I think it's huge. That's why we got rid of having, custodians use their personal cars to haul stuff. We changed that part of the first month I was here. I think it's a big,
Yeah,
bad deal.
that is, yeah. So that's the only thing that I wanted to add, an additional, to make it specific, so no personal use of county vehicles. Cause I don't know if it's that clear.
It's not, but we can do that.
It just says
Non-
use of
non-county persons cannot ride in county vehicles, non-emergent, or that.
and county vehicles cannot be used for personal business. Yeah. Okay, so moving on to, communication systems 4.5, I think that was what the next one. Yes.
So if you're saying they're not allowed to use them, in the second line it says, all those who do use it for personal have to prove they have insurance. So if you're not
No,
gonna
I
allow them
don't
to use
want
it
them
all,
to.
you need to take that out.
We need to take that out.
Sorry.
We'll remove that. Thank you.
Okay. And communication systems,
There was a clause that said Madison County discourages employees from storing large numbers of email messages. Please make it a practice of deleting emails once you have read and or responded to them.
with open records law, I think we need to change that.
We should not be deleting emails.
So what I think we need to do is we need to probably discuss as a board, coming up with a retention policy.
Yeah.
I know the state has a retention policy, we do not have a retention policy. So unless there's legal reasons to retain, that we don't have a retention policy, so, I'm not
Well, isn't solutions, I mean, how far back can solutions go where they automatically backing up? And is that something we need to address on the solution side too?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Don't you just put what you need to save in folders and delete all the rest? I don't store up,
Well, the-
once I,
Well, the point is that for open records, Diane, if someone could bring an open records request and it's not there because it's deleted, you know, we don't wanna be in violation of open records law.
She has it.
So I don't think they back up everything.
What about when employees quit? Like,
I don't
when
think-
you,
I don't
like-
think they-
I think they preserve that employee for a certain amount of time, but that needs to be defined
We need
too.
to find it, if there's a
So any
legal
info-
matter,
Any email that I have when I leave is not an open record?
unless there's a legal hold on it. So that's problematic.
Yeah.
So we wanna make sure that we have a policy. First, we understand what solutions can do, and two, that we have a retention policy that's clear, so everybody has it. We also found out there's no policy for if there is a legal matter, there's not an automatic legal retention. That needs to change.
So this needs
As
to be
well.
allers and solutions.
So, I'm happy to reach out to Solutions on
Kelly could do that, can't she do both?
Sure.
And she can
Oh,
have both at
all right,
once.
that's fine, retention
That's her
policy.
job.
So, so yeah, I think we need to do that. And then also there's a reference to gender identity in this section as well. We need to remove that, so it's consistent with Iowa code.
Remove what?
There's a mention of gender identity in this section too.
Oh, yeah, take all that.
Take that out. Okay, so, and then there's one thing that, on here, Kelly, that you suggested, change it to, let's see, employees are prohibited from loading any software on a county-provided computer. If such action would violate the software license, employees are prohibited from loading software onto county-provided computer without the express approval of the department head and/or information services. It needs to remain our IT management company. They have the final say on what goes on computers and what don't. That's what we hired them for. So I think rather than putting information services or auditor's office, it should be, yes.
Don't forget about our office.
Where are you?
We're unique
Yes.
individuals. We have engineering software
Page
that
21.
I think that I'm the expert on saying.
Okay, so we should put.
No, I don't want.
Oh, no, and the appropriate designated IT, or we maybe should just spell it out, so
Let me give you a ridiculous
Yeah.
example.
okay,
The Iowa Department of Transportation will provide us periodically some free design software for culvert sizing. That's something we download directly from the DOT, it's a secure site. I say it's okay for you guys to put it on the machine, that type of stuff. It's not, but, so I don't know if that would mean that
how
I
about
have to work.
designated IT service provider?
Okay, I don't know, I don't wanna have to get permission to do that.
No.
Okay. I mean, I'll do whatever you ask, but.
So, but you're the department head, so,
Okay,
so put on here for approval department head and or, IT service provider. Whoever's in charge of maintaining those computers and software, those are the ones that need to be knowing what's on there and what's not.
Mitch, you and Brady probably download stuff, don't you? You don't.
We do very little, we do like AHA, some American Heart Association, from some secure stuff, but otherwise we don't do much of anything.
So you know what you can do, and can't- okay.
I do from FEMA trainings.
Okay,
Yeah,
Well,
you don't
well,
need permission, you know.
Trainings and stuff is not the same as downloading new software. You
I
need,
don't know
you need,
why,
Just like-
why would anyone do that?
you need
They'll have
admin
like a
rights.
guidebook that comes with the training, and it'll be like 140 pages of slides.
Right.
So I'll just
That's
download that.
different. When you download software, you need admin rights.
Okay.
So that, what you're doing is you're just downloading training from, I'm assuming, a website or something like that.
Yes.
That's different than actually loading new software onto a device.
Okay, yeah, I was trying to get a radar service last year. They wanted me to click a whole bunch of stuff, so I just didn't do it. So I
That's
went
probably
to
smart.
Jen, or I'm gonna wait till
Yes.
Solutions comes and they're gonna help me
Yes.
download it to make sure I do it correctly.
Yeah, we have report writing software.
You can do a work
scheduling software,
work
stuff
order
like
too,
that,
so they can,
otherwise-
you can do that sooner, you don't have to wait for them to come for
Okay.
their visit.
Okay.
They can do it over the phone, lickety split.
And I think for consistency throughout this document, we need to change anywhere it says IT director, IT manager.
Just write designated
Just,
IT
we just put
provider.
IT services provider, and we just change all of that language to IT services provider, for consistency. And then the one last thing in this section is about countywide emails.
Yes, there have been a few countywide emails sent that were wholly inappropriate. And I guess I'm trying to think of a reason why we would need somebody to send countywide emails if they're not a department head.
There is no need. If there's an employee that has a concern, they need to address it with their manager or HR, or, if it rises to the level of the supervisors need to know, then they send it to the supervisors, but individual employees should not be sending department-wide emails.
Countywide,
I mean, sorry, countywide emails.
yes.
People in the county, I don't get any.
We've had instances where people have shared, opinions countywide using the countywide distribution list. So, that is not professional and it's not appropriate. It should, any concerns employees have, they should first go to their manager first. And then if they have a problem, go to HR, or if they need to escalate to the supervisors, they can. I don't think it should ever come to the supervisors unless it's something that we have authority over, but we should, the only people that should be getting,
Have access
have
to.
access to countywide emails should be department heads or elected officials.
I agree.
So,
Is
if
there
we
any issue, is there something I'm not thinking of here, any reason, I mean, we've got like,
No, I'm just unaware, I don't care. They shouldn't say nasty stuff ever.
You do.
well, I'm wondering about like, for example, Laura sending information about payroll. You know, that would be, she sends countywide emails, I mean, I don't wanna create a hassle for people, but it shouldn't be that big of a deal for then Laura to send it to Michelle and Michelle forward it countywide, right?
I wouldn't think so.
Or do we make some exceptions where, you know, if it's a countywide appropriate thing, but,
If it's employee, it's an employee matter, cause we wanna make sure employees get the information. And she's over payroll and that's.
Business related.
yes, it's business related.
So,
But in general, there really shouldn't be much that an employee should need to send out, it should be a department head.
correct.
Does Michaela Simpson need to do anything for elections to notify all employees or?
Probably nothing beyond what she normally would do with the public, I would think.
She's running through.
Yeah, so, I mean, we can always make an exception with the auditor's office, because the auditor's office handles, to your point, you know, payroll, that kind of stuff, and normally everything comes through them as well. We can talk that over with Michelle, but what I wanna do is reduce this, everybody has an opinion, they send it out to the entire county. So, that's not the purpose of countywide emails. So, I think we can word this in such a way that addresses that, and maybe Kelly, you can put your thinking cap on and maybe get some ideas on how to word that. But as of now, we'll just leave it in there as you suggested, Jess,
Okay.
until, if we get any feedback on that.
Mailers, yeah, reviews.
Yeah. Okay, drug and alcohol-free workplace policy, you got that on there?
Jess has, it's, hers is in blue.
Yeah, so what I'm wondering about, number one, we need to get clarified what background checks we're doing and what level of background checks for new hires. But say we have a scenario where someone is employed with us, they pass the background check, they're employed with us, and then what if they're convicted of criminal behavior while they're employed with us?
Then they go to jail.
Well, what's the process, the check and balance for us to ensure that their department head is notified and,
There, I mean, I think in our current one, it says you have to notify your manager, but, I think we need to tighten it up a little bit.
I think it's HR or the Board of Supervisors, which.
It would go through
it
you
seems like
and
a
then
miss
to us.
I mean,
Well-
I think your manager.
yeah.
I'm sorry, can you?
I think your manager would probably be more appropriate to notify than the board.
Correct.
Department head would notify HR.
Yeah, if
Well-
needed, I just think that, you know, if, let's say that someone can't drive, you know, that's probably more pertinent for the department head to know rather than the board.
Yeah, because that, we can't micromanage that. If I get drunk and I get in trouble, well, let's say I work for somebody else, not a supervisor.
Throwing shade on somebody, Diane.
So I'm gonna call Mike first and say, sorry, I lost my license this weekend, or I'm in jail, or I'll call you first, or I'd probably call him first, and then you'd have to deal with it, and then it's on me, we don't need to be
So isn't
involved.
that referenced in 212,
I think so,
back under licenses and
Yeah, it
employment,
is.
that type of stuff?
because that's gonna really hit you, especially if a senior.
Well, with a license, but not everybody gets arrested for
Yeah.
traffic stuff.
I don't,
And
I
I
think it
think,
should
and I
just,
think that we need to,
I think we need to protect our employees if
Yes.
they're working alongside a criminal.
well, employee, well,
and the county too, because that could be increased liability for the county. And I think that's one of the reasons why they have the board of supervisors in there, is for that. But I understand your point. We wanna make sure that it doesn't, if something happens, it's not stopped at the management level, and then the board of supervisors have no idea what happens, and then something else happens, and it blows up, and then we're like, what happened? We had no idea.
I think the employee should notify the department head should notify HR. You should notify us, but we can't make it public because you don't know what the legal ramifications might be.
So, yeah, I'm fine
So it should
with
be
that, if we do that
in-house.
process, if the employee notifies their manager, the manager immediately notifies HR, and then HR, we can have a closed meeting and discuss personnel, where you can tell us if there's something that happened, Kelly. Rather than directly coming to supervisors, I think that's probably the proper path, what do
Yeah.
you guys think?
Yeah, I agree.
We're
Okay.
gonna notify, employee notify department head, then department head notify HR, HR notifies the BOS, and then it's handled in-house, we go from there. Yeah, I agree.
And then, you had arrests must be reported to department head and or HR within 24 hours.
Yeah, well, we've got
What
that,
page?
within 24.
22.
So that was your suggestion, Jess?
Yeah.
I think we do need to put a time frame on it, cause what we don't want is them to wait a week.
Make it 24 hours.
Yeah,
That's good.
24 hours.
That's good.
What if they're in
24
jail?
24 might be tight if they're not out.
If they're not out of
Yeah.
jail.
But this,
Oh.
Yeah,
this
but
is
they
only
can
24 hours after being
Oh,
released
This
from
is
jail.
only under the drug and alcohol-free workplace policy, so this does not include any arrests for anything.
Yeah, and you're gonna have to
Well,
run that by legal.
Yeah.
There's a lot of
Yes.
legal there.
Cause that's what this
There's a whole
policy-
section 4.13 of notifications of arrests and other governmental actions,
This-
so
yes,
it
that's
overlaps
all.
in
Yes.
several different sections.
We're talking two different sections here,
Mhm.
so,
This needs to all go.
Yeah.
so,
But
so
we all
let,
agree on the, how we
yeah,
do it.
so we'll talk to Allers about that.
Yeah, it should be within 24 hours out of, I mean, if they're in jail for a few days,
Yeah,
they need some time.
yeah,
Okay, we're gonna do all or something.
okay. All right.
Page 26, 4.7. We added, the county does not allow vaping or e-cigarette smoking inside county buildings.
Okay, I'm good with that. What about you, Jess?
Yep.
And we could designate as smoking areas. I don't know if you want to do that. I do not like it when they smoke on the porches and it goes in the windows.
I don't like when they smoke on the ramp and it goes
I
right
do
up.
not either.
Yeah,
I talked to, the Department of Health, or anyway, a gentleman in charge of, setting up.
Clean air.
Yeah, and so I told him, we were kind of, we talked about, you and I, it would be the,
Dog ears, we don't want it any closer than the dog ears to the
What?
building.
what corner is that?
You could use all corners have dog ears.
What do you mean by
What's a
dog
dog
ears?
ear?
The
that's
dog
the
ears,
little, that's the little,
triangles
the
by the
triangle
row.
flowers and stuff at the corner, each of the
Oh,
corners.
I gotcha.
Those are dog ears. We didn't want them any closer than the dog ears. There's benches at each one, there's shade there. Some people who used to smoke went down into the alley where the drift was, cause there's all kinds of containers, they just walked across. But we can't make a city thing designated, but I thought if it was a dog ears, that's far enough away that it's not up to the
The problem
buildings.
is, how we tell the citizens in the community they can't smoke on courthouse grounds.
Well, we can't, but this is employees. I can't tell anybody what to do, and I can't tell them not to throw the butts all over the ground. And they do.
It's sad that, yeah, it's so sad.
I have designed a thing for butts, though. I think we might have to make.
And I got a bunch of, county car stickers already from them saying, you know, please don't smoke in this car. And then we have some for the outside of the courthouse. For the doors, they're just kind of a static,
No smoking.
well, yeah, I mean, cause I mean, as you're approaching the door. maybe
We are
that-
having people that vape in the building.
Yes.
That's one of the reasons why I think it's a good idea to have
We
this in here.
And I thought, I don't know if we have to designate for the employees, but the dog ears is far enough that you won't smell the smoke.
Well, what?
I know in the winter that would be terrible, but I don't, that, down in that ramp goes right up into the building.
Well, what we could do, what has been done in the private sector is they do a footage. You have to be so many feet away from
That's
the
why I
building.
thought the dog ears, I can't
And
remember, but
we could
there's
always
nothing
do-
legal about that.
There's no distance, in their, policy right now. You don't have to be 10,000
Right.
feet away, it's just,
So we could always do, how about if we just do, just the exterior sidewalk?
Well,
Rather
that's
than
the-
just the dog, I mean, everything
Oh,
except
I
for the
don't care.
sidewalk.
That's fine, exterior
Exterior sidewalk and
I don't
beyond.
care.
What do you guys think of that?
I just thought the dog ears are a little more private, exterior sidewalks.
Well, technically, that's, the dog ears is part of the exterior sidewalk.
I don't care,
What do
exterior
you
sidewalks
think?
is okay.
I mean, I don't see why not, I mean, you might have some employees that smoke, might not be happy about it, but they can
Some
go
of
in
them
their
do
car.
go, I can think of two that go out to the end of the road.
well, and I guess my concern would just be, that we have receptacles for them to use if we open up the whole sidewalk.
Oh.
Because then we're gonna have vets everywhere.
That's why I thought the dog ears, all I did was design, secondary roads, kinda talk to them. Stick a piece of re-rod that's green, we'll take a pipe, it'll just have hooks on it. You just slide it down over it, the pipe will have a bottom. And I've already got a sign company, they'll make, it looks like a yellow flower, and it has a cigarette butt on the top, and it says, please don't throw your butts on the ground at night, our wildlife are smoking them, and we're trying to help them kick the habit. And they have real cute bunnies, rabbits, possums, and squirrels, and it's a flower, it's only 6 inches. And they would drop it in there, and then all he has to do is pull out and dump it out.
What, it's a pipe
It's just a
receptacle?
pipe.
Where does it store?
You just leave the bottom on, and so they drop it down, so they just pull it off this piece of re-rod and dump it out.
Dump it out?
Yeah, you wouldn't have to put sand in it, you wouldn't have to do anything to it, it's just a metal pipe, and I think your guys had some pieces they said we could have.
Sure.
Yeah.
So,
Are we running the risk of, you know, that gets full of cigarette butts and then somebody throws a live butt in there and then we have that sucker smoking?
I don't know how you, it's just a piece of hard metal pipe, I don't know. And you'd have to dump it, it's not gonna be a big deal, it's a piece of pipe with a bottom on it.
Well, most of those receptacles have some sort of cleaning or
Yeah.
something to extinguish it if somebody throws a live
correct.
lit
I
butt in
suppose
there.
you could drop sand in it if you wanted, it's just a pipe.
So, do we provide receptacles for employees that smoke now?
No.
There's one.
There's like a bucket,
On the
it's
right.
not a
Yeah.
official, but people, there's a bucket with some sand in it, I think, or
Okay.
That's
old
what,
plant.
old planter that we
Would
used.
we have to have one on each corner, or could we get by with just doing two?
That I don't know, I'm not a smoker and none of my I don't know, how many do we need, I don't know.
And keep in mind, the further away we put it from the courthouse, the greater the chance the public is gonna be using it, and then we'll be cleaning up that as well.
I'd rather clean it out of the pipe than on the ground, cause
Well,
I'm
no, I
sick of
agree with
picking
that,
them up.
I agree with that, so we wanna be strategic on where we place them.
Oh, well, that we can discuss, if you wanna go forward, I can show them to you, if you wanna go
Yeah.
forward.
So-
And if they have time to help me with their used pipe. Mike is ignoring me.
No, I'm just reading here.
So,
I'm reading.
so let's go ahead and I think we should have this language in here and then, and we could always just keep it simple and just say, you know, no smoking on county property, period, end of story.
Well, you said exterior sidewalks,
Well, technically, well,
that's county.
But
that's-
how would that apply like here in our other buildings? Cause I know we had a gentleman who was skulking around smoking in our areas here after hours at one point.
but he wasn't an employee.
He wasn't an
We
employee.
can't stop that.
Mike, do you guys just go out, you just have so much space.
I don't let them, they may sneak it, but there's no smoking at all.
Oh, you don't allow it at all?
I think we should just not allow it
I'm
at all.
not saying that it doesn't happen and I don't know about it.
Yeah, but then the employees that smoke, I mean, what are you gonna
No-
say, you can't
Nothing on the
smoke?
ground, nothing on the grounds, nothing in the
Yeah,
building,
they
nothing
can
in the
smoke, but they
equipment.
have to clean up after themselves.
Oh, absolutely, I think you always should.
But they can go to their cars,
They
right?
go to their cars.
They go to their
Parking
cars
lot,
or, yeah, they go in their car or, you know, if they're out in the middle of nowhere.
So you
nobody
wanna
knows
make no
it.
smoking on any public, on any county public, oh,
I
I
think
don't
so.
care.
Yeah.
I don't know.
From when I
Makes it
started
easier.
to it now, that has 365-degree change. Everybody used to smoke.
Okay.
Do you want the, receptacles for the people who don't work here to throw them in and so don't throw them on the ground? Cause there is nowhere to throw them on
Oh,
our,
not
around
gonna
the
be able
courthouse.
to stop them, but yeah, if they can dispose of it properly instead of throwing it on the ground.
I'll
that'd
show
be
you a
great.
picture of what I.
Assuming that they use receptacles
Yeah.
and not, cause they still throw it on the ground even if there's
Yeah.
receptacles out there.
Let's hope that they
Make
do
that an
more.
ordinance.
Good, no smoking on any
Make that an ordinance.
Make it an ordinance.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
state employees need to abide by this as well.
They do. Oh,
Yeah.
good.
That's a good
Yes.
point.
That's a
Well,
really good point.
I know there's a judge that smokes. I don't know that, I'm not saying that's gonna be a problem, just, I
There's
don't know.
more than one, there's quite a bit that smoke.
Oh,
Okay.
Well, I don't
On
think we're
added
gonna, I don't
as
think we're
state.
gonna be able to enforce that on the state. We can gently ask them and let them know.
Oh, I'm not gonna ask them, you can.
Okay. Okay. Alright, so next one.
Page 28, they just put effort to resolve. In an effort, just cleaning up.
Wasn't some of that 4.14, you guys were talking about that, that's been covered a lot.
Must comply with Iowa's amended law on
Yeah.
electronic devices while driving.
Yeah. What page you guys on?
29.
Okay, so that,
So a citation for any crime,
Back their own.
yeah, in the event that employees are arrested or receive a citation for any crime, or have criminal charges filed against them, receive notice of disposition of criminal charges. So I guess the question you were having is any crime? Okay, cause that basically says you get a traffic ticket,
Right.
you have to let people know.
Seems
Now, in
silly.
your job.
And they do,
They do,
because of the CDL.
yes.
Yeah.
because of CDL.
Same thing, you know, if they say, oh, I got pulled over for speeding this weekend going to Des Moines, they'll let me know.
Oh, they tell you.
They have to. And it'll show up on on the report that we run too.
But this, any crime is right, cause you could really get a jaywalking. If you go to Colorado, they give you all kinds of fines. I mean it. Those mountain towns, you park 2 minutes too long and you get a ticket. Wow.
So, so what do you guys think? I mean, would they have to report it to you, Mike, for everything?
Yeah, and
Do
it
you
also
wanna
doesn't-
make it consistent with us? I mean, that's really not,
Doesn't it say, am I reading in the wrong spot, but notification of any of these above matters must be given to the department head, comma, elected official, or governing body and human resources within 5 days of employment of receiving notice of the charge, complaint, etc. I kinda look at that as any or all of those people,
okay,
but that's up to you.
But you know, if that
And-
really affects you, Brady, the police, it would not, all the emergency, but like, somebody in the treasurer's office, they get a speeding ticket, I suppose they could.
The reason they
notify-
come to me, cause they got CDLs.
Yes,
Yeah.
It's all about insurability,
yes.
liability of the county.
so we could put any crime with the exclusion of traffic citations.
Well, no, cause that directly affects them. If they get a traffic violation, they.
But they're required to notify them because they're CDL.
You
That
gotta
would
be careful
over-
how you word that.
That would,
And where otherwise required, you know, we could just reference, here's expectations. Otherwise, in situations where there's other requirements, like with, to have the
Receive a
CDL.
citation for any crime.
Maybe you have your professional read through all of this,
Okay.
because, you know, up above they're talking about other crimes and
pleads guilty or not guilty
Right.
on charges. Maybe it needs to be updated to whatever today's modern stuff is.
Okay, so notification of arrest section, have them look
Cause
over that.
they may know of something that,
Right.
Yeah,
Now we're
'cause
at
it already
4
calls out duties, employees whose duties require possession of a CDL.
That's true. On the second paragraph, it already calls that out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
So if we wanna put,
I
we could
just-
put exclusion of traffic tickets in that first paragraph, because the second paragraph talks about the CDL.
Well, I just put hours, any crime, put a question mark and have them
Okay.
kind of be careful, so we.
Well, yeah.
4.14, somebody's written, must comply with Iowa's amended law on electronic devices while driving. I'm good, that's good. You don't allow any cell phone in your trucks, do you? Nothing. You don't either, okay?
nope,
Now,
Cell
when
phone
you use your-
usage, or they
No.
can't even bring them into the vehicle?
they could bring them, but they're not
I was
allowed,
gonna say,
they can use them if they pull over, stop.
Okay,
We can only use them if like dispatch has called us on the phone and the driver needs to talk to dispatch or call the hospital. Very, very limited, no.
Yeah. and then it's hands-free.
Just like.
And it's a battle.
Mhm.
Just keep on top of that.
Okay.
So it looks like the social media policy is a little different than the original, if I'm recalling.
So, we've run into problems with this before, Jess, predates you, where we had employees post nasty things, and then people would come to us saying, why is so-and-so posting this, they're a county employee, blah, 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 blah. So, we didn't really have, I mean, it was in here, but we really didn't have any enforcement because it's relatively a new thing. So I'm not quite sure how to best word this to where we don't wanna affect First Amendment rights, but at the same time, folks represent the county. And, we had an instance where somebody did that, and they were in a position of where they were a safety employee. I won't say what department, but it was a safety thing. And this member of the public was concerned that, well, now are they gonna treat me differently because of my political persuasion? Are they gonna take care of me? And so that's the fear I have, is I don't want the public to ever feel that they are not gonna be taken care of by our county employees. So I don't know how to best split the baby on that without violating the First Amendment. I don't know if we wanna make it the department head.
It's so broad,
Discretion.
and it's so broad. I think we should get a sample draft from Ehlers. They
Okay,
work with so many counties, and they've gotta have some sample ideas and recommendations of where to start, and then let's review that.
I'm totally opposed to, I don't do social media, I don't write on social media, I think this country has stretched the First Amendment so thin. You say anything you want, it doesn't matter if it's true or a lie, you print it in a paper. I don't like it, and I wish you wouldn't do it if you're a county employee. Stay off of social media, it just causes
But we
miserable.
can't ask that, Diane. We
I
can't
wish
ask
you
that.
just do it. Just
Trust me,
be nice.
I'm getting really tired of being defamed, trust me, I know, but it's people's freedom of speech, so if they wanna defame me all they want,
I just
they
never
can do
get
that,
on
but certainly county employees should have a little bit better decorum than that.
I know in the private sector, they held us to a very high standard as well.
We
As-
couldn't do it.
As a private sector employee, if we were, cause they saw us, you are representing the company when you're out there, when you say things and you trash talk people, you are representing the company in a negative way. So, but, you know,
I worked in a
I think we
Fed
should, I
office.
think we should ask Allers to help us figure out how to
That's what I
best.
would have him.
I have talked with Jeff about this, several months ago. His only warning to me was if you install a policy that starts hearing this, you know, what employees can do, he said, this is my analogy, not his, but treat them, we have to treat everybody the same. We can't say, you know, Brady can't post, you know, his opinion on something, but Diane can. I mean, he said it's gotta be, everybody, so.
Yeah, and that's what I'm worried about is, we're going into dangerous waters here with the First Amendment, so, did he have any ideas to where did he have any kind of recommended language?
He sent me, a policy that was very, thorough.
Okay.
But it was, you know, no matter who you are, you need to abide by these rules, and that's gonna be tough, but.
I know some companies do, you can do like a broad anything, you sign your little agreement when you get hired that you represent it 24/7. But some companies do where if you're talking about that company all the time. So if I go on Facebook and say Madison County sucks, then you guys could come back at me. But if I say the Republican, party sucks, you couldn't.
Right.
Because it's not directly to county business or
Right.
about the county, so. I don't
It's
know.
gonna require policing too.
Yeah,
Well, people police, but I mean, I just,
yeah.
if you wanted to do something, but make it less.
Why don't we look at what he has that's very thorough, and the board can look it over and then make a decision there. And then we can just move on to the next thing.
How do the feds get away with it? We had a guy post something terrible. The state came in one door, the feds came in the other, they took his computer and he got 30 days off without pay. It was just that simple.
Well,
How do they
it
get
depends on what he posted,
It
I
must have
guess.
been real.
It was pretty good.
Yeah.
What contract we
It might have
signed
been
is
illegal.
probably, yeah.
So.
Oh, it wasn't illegal, it was just.
Okay, all right, so let's go ahead and move past the social
32,
media
you're at the
stuff.
very bottom.
32, public statement, media policy needed. Jess, I'm
Well,
assuming this.
I got a question, so if we
Okay.
make if, for example, the department head or elected has a press release, shouldn't that be on our website?
Press release?
Yeah, they make a public statement that's shared with the media, shouldn't that be on our website?
I would think so. We haven't had that
Whereby-
policy before,
It's all over the news, I mean, we're just.
yeah.
Well, if
I
there's gonna
get-
be an official statement released, I would think that it would make sense we put it on our website, but I'm open to what that looks like.
Nah, I'm not good for it.
Is that was that what you mean by media policy, or is there more to that?
So you want it on our website?
Like if there's a press release and, by a department head and they do it and we have no idea and we get contacted by the media saying, hey, so-and-so said this, blah, blah, and we have absolutely no idea because the press release was not shared.
Which just happened.
Yes, so,
There you go, the First Amendment though.
well, no, that's not First Amendment, that's a public official making a press release on
Okay.
behalf of an elected office, or,
And I'm not
I
saying
don't
they
see
can't
Mike
make-
doing any press releases,
Well,
I
I'm
try
not-
not to.
so.
I'm not
Well-
saying that people aren't free to do that, but if it's gonna be an official press release, then maybe it
On behalf
warrants
of the
putting.
county, it needs to be on the county
our website.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't do a lot. I can think about when we have a blizzard. I mean, I don't have the people
To ensure it's
well,
everything
to
that's.
send it there, but like when we,
Yeah.
2 years ago, we had more snow than normal.
yeah,
I would try to, we do have a Facebook page, but it's very generic, and it just say like, you know, we're out and working on it and kind of give an update, but that's about as far as a press release.
And I don't think that would fall into this category, Mike, cause I mean, there's several departments that have Facebook pages and
Yeah,
they'll do updates.
And we'll put on things like, you know, the
It's more
road's
like an-
open today.
it's more like an announcement.
They
Yeah.
are elected officials, and do we have the right?
I had an interview with one of the medias about the covered bridges and how we need to get, I don't know, once they come to me and they do a story, I don't know what I tell me what you want me to do next.
Well, the
Yeah.
interview's different than a press release.
Well,
Yeah, this is where you're doing a formal announcement on behalf of the county.
the only time that I would think for the secondary road department would be like an emergency situation where we're closing roads. And we do that through that road notification system. That is on the website, there's a link to it.
Yeah.
Something maybe very, very rare that might happen.
This is an
Natural
always-
disaster or something. but-
This is an allers question.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that'd be a good question.
Okay.
Cause it
Because
might be,
You
it may
might
be
not
like
be
in the
able to
case of,
overstep.
that's right, if in the case of like elected, for
Yeah.
example, it may be,
Yeah.
we request that they try to do that, but
Because
we may
people
not be able
shouldn't
to
have,
require it.
yeah, they should not have to the public should not have to do an open records request to get that
To
information.
get a press release
Yes.
or something that's an official statement to one media outlet but not others.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's
And-
have allers
Yeah,
check
oh, and,
this.
since we're talking about this, I don't know if this is appropriate for the handbook, but I did get a response back from Solutions regarding, putting our recordings, our meeting recordings on the website. They figured out a way for us to upload all of them, so I'm wondering if we want to put something in the handbook that says, you know, the county will post meetings to, recordings of meetings that are not closed meetings, obviously,
Does that need to be in the
to-
handbook?
to the, website.
Is that a handbook thing, Kelly?
Could that be your board policy?
Let's just do it,
It's a
yeah,
board
do it as a
policy.
board
Yeah,
policy,
that'd
I
be a
think so.
board
All right,
Do
we'll,
it as a board
we'll
policy.
talk about it later tonight then. Okay, so, the next one is, the telecommuting policy.
I wondered about that, cause it was talking about not allowing personal devices, but, you know, people work from home regularly, and I think they,
Well, what I think this means is using personal devices to access the county network.
Which
Oh.
you cannot do.
Which you
I am
can't do,
Totally
no.
opposed.
So, and from a technology standpoint, it's messy, you don't wanna do it anyway.
right,
So, and in this section, we wanna change, this is one of the sections where it says director of IT, where we need to change to IT services, IT management company. So, that's what that is about, just to explain.
okay,
Okay,
I'm fine with that then, you can write that one.
okay, so, next one is, I'll keep going here.
Page 36, the very bottom, 5.4. Oh, we've already kind of done that. Let's
Well, there's
talk
some
about it
here,
some more.
oh, yeah, page 32, something about background checks, did we skip over there?
Oh,
Criminal
yeah.
background checks.
Yeah, that's.
So that's obviously come up. According to Allers, we're not to do background checks on elected officials as part of our policy, that's not a requirement, it should not be. So when you were elected, when Terry's elected, when Michelle's elected, there's no background checks because they're elected officials. Where the gray area is if they're appointed, for appointed people. Do we do background checks on appointed, elected officials? Do we do background checks on appointed board members? Have we ever done a background check on any of our appointed boards?
No, I haven't.
Yeah.
I don't know what's happened in the past.
Yeah, so that, the whole appointment thing kind of made me start thinking about all of our appointments, not just any appointments for a vacant elected office.
Ryan, you have 2 boards. Thoughts about background checks on your boards? You pretty much know, I mean,
I don't think we should, because these are all volunteer boards, they're not technically
I don't either.
working for the county, but I'm wondering if we should outline it clearly, and maybe Allers can help us with this, since they're the one that advised on not doing background checks for elected officials. So I'm wondering if we should have them document, so everybody is on the same page going forward, and there's no misunderstandings.
Yeah, and there's different levels of background checks too, correct, Kelly?
There
So
is.
if we could get some definition on that and what's appropriate, to me, the higher level of authority for the higher the need for a higher level of background check.
Correct.
So,
Correct.
yeah, we need to explore more and get Ayler's thoughts on it.
36 at the very bottom, 5.4.
Payroll deductions.
Yeah,
we already talked about
We
this
talked
one.
about
This
that,
is
the comp time, so we're gonna be hashing that out
Yeah, so this is just,
with,
a lot of these subjects are gonna be referenced multiple places, so.
and this is one we wanted to get feedback from ours, or is this
Yeah.
something we?
Yeah, well, it'll all tie in together.
Yeah.
Okay. Alright, the next one is overtime, 5.5.
Oh, we've already kind of decided that.
Next
You,
time.
you said you wanna do flex time for exempt employees, and then, help me understand this, compensatory time should be used before overtime, wherever possible,
Meaning
I didn't
if-
understand that.
So
I think
it's-
you should always have to use that comp time and not get overtime. If
Before
you're
they're
sitting on
paid.
comp time, you don't get overtime.
You don't get overtime, you don't use your comp time up first before we're gonna pay overtime. Yeah.
Well,
that's
well,
what
no,
I-
wait, no,
that
that
won't
doesn't
work.
make sense, because
No.
overtime is for when you work more than 40 hours in
Yeah.
a week.
Comp time is, that won't work.
Well, it depends on if it's salary or hourly, right? I mean, it depends on what we're talking
Yes.
about.
Can I weigh in?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yes.
please.
Okay, I'm salary.
Yeah,
I don't get comp time.
Right, I've never heard of any
I have to
salary.
put in 40 hours a week or 80 hours a week.
yeah.
Doesn't matter. If I've gotta come in on Saturday and Sunday, I try to get out maybe a little early, doesn't happen, but that's how I do it with the salary people that are down there, which would be me. We had an assistant, Josh, and Joe, those are the salary people. So I don't let them flex time from week to week. If Josh is usually there 5:30 in the morning, you know, and if he gets all of his stuff done and he wants to leave at 3 o'clock on Friday in the afternoon and it's done, then great. If it's not done, then he has to stay. That's the way I run it, right or wrong, because they're salary people.
So
Now,
salary, no comp time.
no, they don't get to, no.
So
I
the
like that
hourly,
across the board.
hourly then,
Hourly,
Right, no,
No,
right,
no, I
but
don't.
on comp, like, let's say me, I'm salaried also, but I might have to come in and work a 48 hours. I work my 40-hour shift, and then I might have to cover a truck for 48 hours on Saturday and Sunday because I have nobody to cover an ambulance. And then I have to work my 40 hours a week again, which is, like Mike says, which is not 40 hours, it's 60 to 70 hours.
Right.
Plus then I might have to work a 24-hour shift also because, oh yeah, I don't have coverage. And I don't get extra pay, but maybe I wanna take half a day off and I can because I get all my stuff done, which is
So
great.
you just flex your time.
Right, that's what I do, is
Yeah.
I'll use it, maybe I take a day off here because I get everything done that I need to get done. But, you know,
if
that.
I do that, we try to do it in that pay period. We don't go outside the pay period.
Mine, I don't do that because there might be a time.
Yeah,
where
you got a
I-
different situation.
I
Yeah.
can't do it
Yeah.
that pay period. Hell, I
Right.
might not be able to do it for 6 months because I can't, take time.
The overtime is only on hours worked, isn't it? It's like if you
Yes,
take
that's
Monday
correct.
and
But
Tuesday
yeah,
off, you
definitely no
wouldn't get-
overtime
Right.
online,
And
no,
you use your comp
no
time,
change in
you wouldn't
pay
get
ever
overtime.
Yeah.
online.
So I
Right.
like the salary employees, no comp time. But
Well, that's
you're-
part of being salary. You own me.
Yeah.
Really?
Sorry.
Well, then.
But that,
But at the same time,
Brady's right.
but at the same time, I wanna be able to, I don't wanna expect our employees to work back to back 48 hours, 60 hours. I want them to be able to
Yeah.
take, if you put in a 50-hour week, if you wanna take a half a Friday off, I don't have an issue with that, as long as the work gets done.
Yeah, but you,
So-
yeah.
but we need to have verbiage that says these guys can work that out with their employees, right?
Yeah,
So
you
they
know,
have that
because these
flexibility.
departments are way different.
Yeah.
Well, you got staffing issues with that,
Yes.
and there's times, well, right now we have if we had a snowstorm, my salary people are gonna have to come in and run it. And they may put in 65, 70 hours, easy.
So in that
Sure.
instance is why I wanna make sure that you guys have flex time, so you can, we don't wanna burn them out.
Yeah.
Which
So that's why I was
mine
a little
salary
confused as the wording on this,
Mine-
Jess, is the comp time used before overtime, well, you're not gonna be, those are two separate
I've got to
two
have a job.
buckets.
I have to be here.
So are you okay
I
just
guess-
kinda doing away
Well,
with this
I pretty
verbiage and
much-
just doing
Yeah.
flex
I-
time?
yeah.
Yeah.
This should be
Absolutely.
worded by
I just think,
hours
like you
to
said.
differentiate the
Yeah.
salary and the different departments.
I
Don't you?
have one question,
Yeah.
for those people that have their own board, is that something, let's say Sean Nick, could his board tell him that he can keep and accumulate comp time, and so that supersedes what we have, right? I
Well,
mean,
he never has, they never usually have any over,
They're all salary,
I just
well,
mean all the different departments we have here, I mean, I have their
think
own
that's
handbook,
I think that's an hours question.
that's what I wrote.
Oh,
because we need, if we're gonna pay them overtime or comp time, those are two different things that we have to budget for.
I want it consistent more though, if we can.
Could that be something that's done for your salary people, like, for example, I'll use secondary roads, and it may not fit into everything, but when we set salaries, could we have verbiage from, that we need that would address at that time? And that way it would address each department.
Yeah, that's great.
And then you don't have to put 9 different things in the handbook, or you just address it as part of the yearly package, you know, we have, like me and Josh and those people would bring a salary and it says that's what it is, and you're expected to work 42 and a half hours or something like that, I don't, whatever's legal.
Okay.
Would that be an easy way to clean it up?
Yeah. Yeah.
Between every, because you might have 9, 10 different things.
Yeah,
Does that, am I making any sense from the random?
Well, that makes sense to me.
okay.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing is, yeah, I'm the only salary person in my department.
Yeah, no, I get it, I understand, it's,
People just aren't coming in, that either I covered or we.
yep,
they got something.
and we got the same thing too.
I get it.
Page 38, 5.7.
But going back to your other, anybody over 40s, they get compensated.
Yeah.
And then, like I say, we don't, at our department, they can only carry 40 hours max, then I can use it as comp time off, but come fiscal year, they're paid out for it.
Yeah,
So then we can plan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can
I'm
budget
o-
plan
yeah,
for that.
I think it's good.
What are you at, what section?
so, on, right above 5.7, we have use flex time versus OT,
Where appropriate, I guess.
where appropriate.
Yeah. We don't wanna box the department heads in, right, if they have
No.
exceptions or different needs.
That's kind of on there.
Okay. So, expense reimbursement, we wanna put in there the new 2026 IRS standard mileage rate. Do we wanna put that in the actual handbook?
What does medical moving mean?
you know, I just did a Google search from what Jess's feedback, and those are the that's what it gave me, and I thought, we probably just need none of this on here, but.
I think I think we should be out. Mileage, just mileage, is 72.5 cents, period.
Yeah, just put the mileage rate in there
Yes,
for
and
business,
nothing
nothing
else.
else.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah, I didn't even realize there were those other categories of medical
Me either.
moving and
I don't even
charitable.
know what does medical moving mean?
I don't know.
Let's not go there.
Okay.
Actually, my grandpa had it. Yeah, one of those, like, safari vans.
Darn it, to make an alcoholic beverage.
Really?
Okay.
Oh, okay, to
Hospice.
transport
Crazy.
someone who
Yes.
needs to, okay.
Which we could figure that out if it comes up.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Breakfast is 12.
so
lunch
now
is
we're at, healthcare benefits. You mentioned the new Iowa law, the House Bill 248, Jess,
Mhm.
require equal treatment for adoptive parents. I
I'm
thought we
okay with
had-
that.
I'm okay with that, but I thought we had language in there.
We
about
did,
that.
we did.
Okay,
Well,
Where is it?
if it's already in there, we're good, but.
you wanna make sure it's in there?
I think it's in
It
there.
is
Yes,
in there.
it is.
I'm sorry.
What section is it?
It would probably be FMLA section.
That's where it was done.
Okay. Alright.
And then we just added eligible under enrollment.
Okay.
All
It's on 48, page 48, Jess.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. And then on page 41, you did a correction to 14 days for short and long-term disability there. Okay. And then on 42, is this what you added? Each employee is responsible for keeping track of their mileage?
Yes, I did that with absolutely no authority, but.
I think I told you to do it.
Oh, okay.
I think so.
I just, there seems to be some confusion on who's responsible for, if someone's on workers' comp or short-term or long-term disability. They may have been under the impression that the auditor was handling everything.
Ah.
That.
How would
was-
they possibly know any of that information though, if it's not shared?
That just,
So this makes sense. This makes sense to me, adding this.
I
I'm not-
wanna
I'm not-
add it.
I'm not opposed to that. I think that's a good idea.
And they need
What
to
do you
keep,
think?
yes.
Okay.
but they did, you know, I thought, you know, you would be the one to call my case manager. It was me too. And I'm trying to do, well, I mean, maybe the auditor's office can do that, but just establishing who is responsible for it, because
There
it
needs
was
to
a
be
big old
communication.
mess.
Yeah, there needs to be communication because that's how we have problems with payroll and reimbursement, all that stuff. And could lead to auditing issues too. Okay, I'm okay adding that, so,
We changed will be instead of maybe. Return to work before reading the
Yes.
check, like,
Yeah.
will be.
will be, I agree with that. So unemployment benefits, the taxable wage reduced to 20,400 per employee.
Is that what you were looking for, Jess? I didn't really understand what you were looking for.
The pages aren't lining up with the draft I have,
Oh, yeah.
give me a second. I don't know.
5.14, it's
Oh,
unemployment
1.4.
benefits. It
Yeah.
says, employees whose employment is terminated by the county may be eligible for unemployment benefits. Applications should be made to the local Iowa Workforce Development Center. Taxable wage base reduced to 20,400 per employee.
Yeah,
Is
I think
that-
I was just wanting to make sure it was up to the 2026 Iowa standards.
Yeah, I don't think we need to put the taxable wage base in there because that's internal stuff.
Yeah.
On how, what they get based on their wage, that's, yeah, I don't think that, I think that's more an
Iowa
employer
determines-
thing.
Yeah, and Iowa the state determines that, right?
Right, so I don't think we need to put that in there, but thank you for looking it up.
Yeah. Yeah.
But your point was you wanted to make sure the verbiage followed the current law for
Yeah.
unemployment? Okay.
But to just it kinda says that, employees, it references Iowa Workforce Development.
Okay,
Okay. I didn't go-
so next one.
6.1 vacation 44, it's put vacation time to be earned monthly instead of after a year's time. Feedback that this is too long to wait for vacation.
I would agree with that. We should
I was
have,
just thinking, yeah, by month.
Yes.
we should have people earn, and to be honest with you, I wanna know if the board would consider having them earn it weekly rather than monthly,
Well,
Is that harder to keep?
or per pay period.
is that?
O2
Yeah.
of 609 cycles, yeah, monthly, with the computer. Sorry, I didn't mean to speak.
What was that, Tom?
That's the payroll cycles.
Oh, so it's monthly, okay.
I would do it monthly.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh,
It-
that's.
The system kind of works on a monthly basis.
Oh, okay, okay,
That-
so,
They're gaining it, they're gaining.
They
it
gain
month-
it.
They gain it monthly, they just
Anyway,
can't use it till
just
after
can't
they've
use
been
it.
here a year.
okay.
And that is one of the concerns when I interview people, that you don't earn your vacation until after a year. So that's
I
one of
don't
the
like
questions
that.
they
I don't like
ask
that
several
either.
times.
But they do earn it.
They do earn it, but they can't
They
use it
can't
until
use it.
after a year.
No, I don't like that.
See, I don't like that either.
Now, we do offer, again, and the same thing with, because you're probationary employee, you do earn that sick leave and that personal leave, but again, there's time on that.
6 months
Yeah, right.
before they can use that.
So again, that's just knowing from interviewing places, some places are offering more leave time up front.
Sure.
But again, that's entirely up to you guys.
So put vacation time to earn monthly instead of year, we all like that.
Right, I like that, but what do you guys think about allowing them to use it before a year?
Oh, I
My
don't care.
biggest
If they
concern in
earned
that
it.
is that a lot of people, a lot of the newer people, the second they get it, they start using it. I mean, so if they're there, if you let them have it at 3 months, now I've gotta find coverage for 3 months, they're gone, they're using it all.
What about allowing them to use it after the probationary
Maybe,
period?
maybe
Maybe after probation.
maybe after
How about
probation.
after 90 days?
Well, 6 months is their probation.
Yeah.
6
Alright.
months is their
I would
probation.
say probation,
6
because,
months.
because when they get it, I promise you they're gonna use it.
So we'll go at after 6 months, they can start using it, okay.
You know,
like
and
that.
there's been some things where you hire a new employee that maybe has a young family and something happened just, you know, in that second month.
Yeah.
I mean, but I think those could be discussed maybe on a case by case basis and we can
And that
figure
could
out the best
work,
path
you know.
for them.
Yeah.
Cause, you know, we wanna keep them, but it, you know, you
Put
just.
that wording in there, maybe, you know.
6 months they can use it, I'm okay with
Or
that.
up
Is there
to-
a
Or
way-
per department head.
Yeah, or per
Do
department
we
head's
need to,
discretion.
do we need to do anything in internal systems to make this change, or is it just a policy change?
Mike gave us the,
So, when you come on board, at least at the road department, it shows up on your pay stub in the systems
Yeah.
per month, or that first paycheck in that month.
Okay,
So I'm pretty sure that could be done for
Sure,
everybody.
that would work, cause
Okay.
if you don't do it till after.
Programming's there, it's just
Yeah.
getting the
it's just
code
they're not
set.
allowed to use it till after 6
Yeah.
months, but they'll be able to see that they're
Yeah,
accumulating.
they'll be able to see
Okay,
it.
okay.
Is there a way to work in an option, and I'm just throwing ideas here, if there were a need or an unusual circumstance for a newer employee, say they have a tragedy, that they can allow them to work out a custom situation where they can have some time off unpaid
You've gotta be really.
before that probationary period?
That's
Yeah.
FMLA.
Gotta be.
Yeah, you gotta be
Yeah,
careful on how you
wait
handle
for a year
that.
Before you're allowed to have another.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
You have to be
that's the
really
big one,
careful.
yeah.
You gotta be careful.
Or you gotta be
12
so
$50.
careful to do that.
Mm-hmm.
We just got that real good one.
You gotta be fair to the other employees.
Right, right,
Yeah.
okay.
Again, at least, again, for the road department, a lot of the employees there, that's where the benefit of having up to 40 hours of comp time.
Yeah.
You know, I always tell them that, you don't necessarily get all your vacation, so you might wanna bank that.
Yeah, save it up.
And if you need to use it, then use it, if not, we're gonna pay you for it anyway.
Mhm. Okay,
Okay.
good, all right,
Page 46, veterans.
so. So Veterans Day, and this, I'm glad we brought this up, because right now, currently it says that they use their leave, they take it off, or we're allowed to take it off unpaid.
We have Veterans Day off.
No, no, this is for, well,
This really confused.
yeah,
Cause it's on our list of
Yes.
holidays, but
Right.
yet then it's spelled out, you
I
know.
think what happened is that maybe at one time it was not a holiday, and we changed that into a holiday, and it's no, and therefore it's.
I think it's always been Veterans Day.
But I think at one time, if it's, cause it's in the handbook, it's acting like it's not.
Does this have something to do with the law change in Iowa, where veterans are actually have to have that day offered to them? Is that why this came about, maybe?
That's what I was wondering.
The
that-
language in here is, the way it's worded in the current language in the handbook is if we don't have it as a holiday, and if they wanna take it, they can either they are allowed to take it without question. They either take it unpaid or they take their personal day.
But we do
But
have it
we
as a
give
holiday.
Veterans Day
Yeah,
off
right.
as a holiday,
Right.
so I think this language is outdated.
Could
Let's
be.
just write all county employees are.
Oh, no, we just strike the whole
Just,
thing back.
yeah, get it
because it's a
out, cause we
holiday.
already have it, let's take the whole thing out,
So,
we don't need it, we get it all.
yeah, so we can just strike that whole thing. All right, moving on to sick leave, I think was the next one.
I think employees are not able to use sick leave when the intent is for the employee time off without illness. Using sick leave versus using up your vacation, because we don't pay out sick leave, we pay out vacation, so they're burning
They're
sick
sick
leave.
leave and they're not sick.
So I've had a department head come to me and, he had, an employee schedule a 2-week vacation, over on a break. And then that person contacted their department head and they said, oh, hey, by the way, I wasn't able to enjoy my vacation because I was sick. So he was trying to figure out, do I charge them for vacation or do I, let them use their sick time? I just said that, if it affects.
Go ahead, Mike.
Vacation's pre-scheduled, so that kinda covers that.
Yeah.
However, I make them provide a doctor's note.
If they were really sick.
Let's say they went to California to visit their cousin, and they actually got sick. Go to the doctor out there in California, get a note, we'll credit it. Even on the regular sick leave, if it's, 3 days is our kind of unwritten rule.
Ours
And
is
you can do it
ours
any-
is 2 shifts.
Yeah,
If you miss
two shifts, 3 days. Yep.
2 consecutive days, you have to.
I gotta have a note.
To come back.
And that keeps people from.
I think mine is always 3 days, but two, I
So-
don't care.
do we
Ours, like I
wanna-
said, ours are
do it
48
after
hours,
one?
so if you miss
Is
48
it-
hours.
yeah, you
2
have-
days okay with me, but
Yeah, if you
provided
miss
doctors,
48
I don't
hours.
like using sick leave.
So do we wanna put it in there, employees are not able to use sick time when the intent is for the employee to time off without illness?
Yeah.
Sick time used requires a doctor's note
After 2 days.
after 2 days.
I'd
What
like
do
to
you
see
got?
3.
Three?
I
Because
would
sometimes
say
we,
three.
yeah,
I have to go to the doctor's.
well,
Right.
the reason I say that is I've had, if we're working plowing snow on a holiday, sometimes it's
Yeah.
hard for them to get into someone. Or it's a weekend type deal.
Okay.
And then you're after, like they're not there on Friday, they show up Monday, it's just,
Okay.
because of that gap, 3
Okay.
days is kind of what we use.
I think a lot of people use 3 days.
And I think that's also the FMLA kick in. Or it used to be kind of this, 3 days is kind of, is there a thing with the FMLA on 3 days? I
I
don't,
thought it's 40 hours.
maybe, yeah.
But like I said, our 2 shifts are 48 hours.
Ask me how to size a culvert or how thick the paper is.
So do do you wanna keep the current wording and just add a 3-day,
Yeah, just provide doctor's
Doctor's
notes
note
after
after
3 days.
provide after 3 days?
Yep.
Okay. Alright.
Then we're on page 48, under sick leave, benefits upon retirement or termination. This is not the case for Teamsters employees removed.
Okay, so I'm wondering if, this is actually a note I have, is we strike this, this whole thing and just say, unless a union contract designates otherwise, sick benefits will not be paid upon retirement or termination. That way we cover both unions. Even though I know it's not part of the ASME union contract, if it ever does get in there, that would cover it. What do you guys
So
think?
union contracts don't pertain to this, but the
Yeah.
rest of it, yeah, union contract, okay.
So you guys are okay with that wording? Or
Yeah.
something
Union, I would
similar?
say union contracts don't pertain, I don't care how
Well,
they
we
word
just,
it.
six leave benefits are not paid upon retirement or termination unless a union contract designates otherwise, or something like that.
Kelly, you can do that legal work.
Okay, so family and medical leave, this is what I think you were talking about with the adoption. FMLA includes up to 12 weeks for adoption. So, I think it's covered in that first paragraph,
Yeah.
so, so I think unless you want additional language, or do you
No,
want that? Oh,
I'm okay with that, I just wanna make sure it's referenced and
Okay.
included.
Okay.
Next is page 52, 6.12, down near the bottom.
Okay, okay, this was a separate, okay, so this is something we've talked about, that we have, with our meetings, and members of the public have commented this to me after meetings, that, we have employees attending our meetings that are not on the agenda. And our meetings have been going long lately, so I think that they're more than welcome to attend our meetings, that's fine, but unless they're on the agenda or they're requested to attend by the board of supervisors, that they use their PTO or, vacation or personal time, however they want it, or take it unpaid.
Wow, I do,
Because we have members of the public that are taking time off from their work schedule to attend our meetings. They have to take their PTO time. And it bothers them when they sit here and they have employees that are supposed to be paid to do their work during the day, and they're sitting in a 2 or 3 hour board of supervisor meeting and they're not even on the agenda.
Sometimes being paid overtime to
And
do
it's
so.
sometimes being paid overtime. So I think what we need to do is, unless they're on the agenda or the board, invites them to, for some reason, that they need to be there, they can certainly call in from their desk if they want to and multitask. But we're paying them to do their work, they should be at their jobs.
I think.
Obviously, department heads are different. Obviously, Mike, you're at every one of our meetings.
Well, I have to be sometimes.
But I'm a little, the public has expressed displeasure to me, I don't know about anybody else, that that's happening.
All right, I think what you should do is they should note on the timesheet they attended the meeting and and use comp time.
They're free to use whatever
Whatever-
time
they
they
can
I
want.
use
don't
whatever
care
time
what
they
they
want.
use, but I
Yeah,
think they
but-
should note on the timesheet that they've attended the meeting and use, and not be paid overtime or
Comp
paid
time or
for it.
personal time, whatever time they wanna use.
Yeah, and we could put it, I mean, you use PTO because that's a very common term, but it should be unpaid or use appropriate, paid time off unless necessary.
request their
Unless the
presence.
board of supervisors approves their, presence, physical presence. If they wanna be on the phone, that's fine. So,
What are you gonna do about, who's gonna lock up all the buildings at night?
well, okay, that's gonna be a discussion item tonight, because we still don't have the doors up here.
Oh, yeah,
That's an issue, but that's not to be discussed right now,
Wouldn't one
but,
of you have keys to be able to lock up?
well, we have we were never, when they changed the locks in this building, we were never given keys, ever. And I've been asking, I've been told it's too expensive, and
well,
20
we did
weeks
it,
later.
we had to change the keys, that was
Absolutely, but that was 20 weeks ago, Diane.
All right, let's get a
So
key and
we
we'll
had-
lock the doors.
we
Get
can-
key, lock
We
the
get
doors.
a key, lock the doors, but I'm hoping we have those new doors in. We've been promised those for a long time. But anyway, so I have keys to the courthouse. I don't have keys to any of the other buildings.
They should note the time on the timesheet, even if they're on the phone, because that is, if required by us. And then the exact hours that they attended the meeting, or minutes, I don't
Mhm.
care. And we'll get a key, one of us will get a key to unlock these doors, or somebody can.
Mhm.
And
So,
And then I kind of agree, I don't think some people need to be here the whole time.
I mean, when half the room is filled with employees, that's an issue.
Well, a lot of them are, but a lot of them are elected.
That's not half a room. We have eight electeds. This room seats 49.
We didn't have half of
There,
Oh,
we've had meetings where
employees?
half the room was full with employees. We absolutely have. And I don't have an answer to the public when I get those questions. So, anyway, okay, so, we could probably wordsmith that into something that uses the same language to make it look
Kelly can look up the
like
rules.
that. Okay, so I think there was,
Nothing else.
7.4, just adding, Kelly, looks like added my verbiage regarding attending all mandatory safety meetings or trainings.
We can do these, we used to do them online. Can we do that, Kelly?
safety training?
Yeah, and you have to take them.
Yeah, we're gonna weave it in, and we're gonna rotate between in-person versus online
I've
training.
never worked anywhere where I didn't have to do it, and they
Neither
put it in
have
your
I.
file, and if it's not in HR, they ding you for it. Okay, I'm okay for
We
it.
have to figure out a way to lower our workman's comp.
Yeah.
premiums. They're nuts.
So we're continuing to move that forward and develop it, so.
Okay. All right,
Page, 7.6, under lifetime threatening, there's a accident reporting requirements.
there's there's a cross out in here?
Oh,
Was that you?
again, that was the PDF going
Okay.
to, it just got real funky looking, so I
Yeah.
did it again.
Okay.
Accident reporting procedures.
So, you had requested it be defined a little bit more, Jess?
Yeah, my concern is scenarios where someone's injured and they don't report it for quite some time.
I think 24 hours is too long. If you're hurt on the job, you ought to tell them
Yep.
immediately.
Am I wrong in saying,
No, I don't know.
Am I wrong in saying that after 24 hours, it's not our fault? If they don't report to the company,
I
there's
agree.
24 hours, I believe, because that's what, everything I've read, everything I've seen, report to the company nurse within 24 hours. Or
Well,
it could have been, because by then you've gone home and it could not be our fault.
And you have a scenario where someone may say, well, I don't know if I even really need to be seen, I don't know that it's that bad, and they may not realize and it gets worse, right? But this is why we have to try to urge people to report it, even if you don't think you're gonna need to see a medical professional, right?
Yeah.
Even if you,
Right, I
You
don't.
got
it has to be documented, or
100%.
we're not gonna cover you
Yeah.
for all
Yep.
the workman's comp you're gonna file.
I mean, I had to report, at my previous employer, I had to report tripping over a chair as a workplace potential injury, cause they wanted to make sure that nothing reared its ugly head.
Paper cuts were at one of my jobs,
Yeah.
like, they were serious, like, they wanna know everything.
And you know what, thank goodness I did, because I actually ended up, dislocating a toe from that trip. And then the company had to do that, otherwise, you know, I would be paying for the
Yeah,
deductible and
for
all
sure.
that kind of stuff. So I think it's wise to do it immediately.
Oh, I'm not sure why you wouldn't, but even
I
if
don't
they
think,
don't,
I think
it's-
it should be,
Let's have all those right verbiage, that if it's not reported before 20 hours, it's off our plate. Because I don't think it's
do we
fair.
wanna make the 24 hours, like 24 hour, within
That's like
24 hours,
80
or first thing the next morning, whichever is sooner?
Well,
Well, I think 24 hours, I think that's what the signs say.
I think that's what the
Oh.
The
signs
company
say.
nurse signs
Company
say.
sign, I think there's,
24, report
Okay.
within 24 hours.
Okay.
and that might be an insurance company, how do I say it?
Okay.
Standard practice.
Right.
You know, ultimately, we're not the people that are gonna make that decision on that part, the insurance companies are.
Mhm.
The main thing, I think, is to get our people trained up to call it in. No matter what it is.
Because if
If
you have
you
like
slipped,
a-
oh, I'm sorry.
No, if you have like elections going on and an employee was hurt somewhere in Maxburg, you know, they couldn't tell you right away, but they would also legally have the right to get themselves help at the hospital and then report it
Right.
to the next shift or whatever. So I mean, there is variance in that.
I think 24 hours.
At least
you
they'd be
can
able to
call.
within 24 hours,
Yes.
let somebody know, at least.
Well, you know, you have people
like-
working at night or on the weekend or something.
I've had
Let's-
instances where, you know, it's snowing and it's winter and somebody slips off a machine or something and they, you know, it's 4:30 in the morning and they don't say anything until the end of their shift. I think the main thing is to get it out to the department heads that you've gotta
Yeah.
ingrain in our
Do we
employees to
wanna
go
make
through
it
this
to where,
process.
do you want it to make it to where there's consequences if they don't? Cause I was actually, if you, in my previous private sector employer, if you did not report it within 24 hours, you got written up.
I believe I have it in the secondary roads work rules down there.
Okay.
What happens? Are you written up or you're not?
Well,
we're not
remember I have
liable?
three-step violations. I don't remember, I think it's one of the first ones, and you get any more than three, verbal warning,
written, and
termination.
That's
You
what
know,
ours
you
is.
might have to find out legally, if they don't notify us, when does it become we're not liable? Cause how do you know if you wait 24 hours?
I don't know,
You have
I've
to do
sat
the
in on those
investigation.
conversations
I don't want that.
where you go through that process and then that person has to go to see medical stuff and then it's kinda out of our hands.
Insurance companies
It's
fight that.
insurance company's deal.
So, and I'm
But
wondering-
education, I think, I'm sorry.
Education, and I think there needs to be some kind of consequence. Because if there's no consequence, there's no motivation.
There's gonna
to
be
do
a
it.
violation. I think they should.
Yeah, I think it's a work rule violation where
Yeah.
you didn't fill out the proper paperwork and didn't notify your supervisor.
Right,
That's,
okay.
We did have somebody fall, and I saw him fall. And, two of us got that foot up, packed it nice, and, made the department head take him immediately to the ER because, and then we had no issues. We saw him fall, we reported it, we documented it, and he wasn't gonna go. I said, you have no option, you're going, and he went. Because after 24 hours, like Brady, you don't know what might happen.
we deal with it more because we have more employees and
Right.
kind of deal with that stuff. But I think it'd probably be a good idea to have all the department heads and just go through an hour training to say, this is
I
the
think so,
packet, and this
too.
is what we need to fill out again. Please remind everybody that this needs to
Add to
happen.
your safety agenda.
So
Sorry, I
that's
don't
a-
mean
That is what we're working toward,
Yeah,
for sure.
more of a, call it a campaign, if you will,
Well-
to educate people, know the process, and understand it, and understand, those requirements that you have to report and make sure they have all that information saved. So,
I want consequences in this though, Kelly, if they don't. Cause I don't find it
I
fair.
think we should maybe model the secondary roads since it's already existing.
That's what I wrote, three-step violations,
Yeah.
secondary
Our
roads.
rules are pretty simple and, they cover a lot of stuff. They have been reviewed by legal, so.
Okay, alright.
that's great.
And I don't think there's anything else from us, did you?
I wondered about, I don't know if I put it on my list, I shared with everyone, just performance reviews. Do we have reference like
We used to always do
standards
them.
for performance
We
reviews?
do state in the handbook.
Where's that
it's
at?
Supposed to be annual,
We haven't done it for years. Yes,
Oh,
it's
yeah,
up
2
there.
years ago.
So it's in there, but we're just not
We're not doing it.
Right.
okay.
I think some department heads
We
do.
do.
I've got mine
A
right.
lot of
We
them
do.
do.
It's on section 5.2 on page 36.
Page 36?
Yeah, I've got mine ready to go.
Yep, we do.
Yeah, I think, last year we didn't do it because of all the stuff going on.
Well, we would do it for, now Chip's under auditor,
Yeah.
Kelly's under auditor, so all we'd have is
Zoning and.
Told you you owe me, right? You own me, right?
Brady
I
and-
told you that.
Yeah, 5.2 on page 36.
And then if they don't meet expectations during performance evaluation, we'll receive a follow-up review.
And I don't think we've done that.
So do we have a standard form that everybody's
Yes.
using?
Yes.
Okay.
Kelly has it, she sends
Okay.
it out, and we do have recommendations of stuff they have to change.
Okay.
I had one, I had a lot of changes on one.
Okay.
All right.
And then the only other thing left is, Mike, did you wanna make any changes to your section of the handbook?
I don't think so. I think that's pretty,
Yours is kinda standard. Mike.
yeah, it's kinda standard. Like I said, that's kinda carryover. I think there might be some, when it says administrating employees in the secondary road department be granted a floating holiday at the beginning of the fiscal year. I think that's everybody, not just administrative. I don't know why it says that. Everybody, we've always got a floating holiday, and we changed that for Monday, basically.
So maybe just strike the.
Yeah, I don't know if that's
administrative
copy and
just put
paste thing,
employee.
What
but-
page are you on?
62 on my version.
62.
It's 63 on our.
Okay.
version.
Isn't that
That's right
past-
under floating holiday.
Isn't that passed in resolution?
Appendix B. It could be. Well, no, we passed the holidays as a resolution, always have.
Yeah, but I thought there was extra verbiage in that, I might be
There may
wrong.
be.
So what do you wanna change, Mike?
Just where it says administrative employees, maybe it should just
Under
say,
floating holiday, it says
Yeah.
administrative
Just
employees,
employees.
strike administrative.
Got it.
just maybe a typo.
Right.
Uh,
Okay.
Do you have your own, handbook?
Right
For
here.
I mean, do you have one for secondary roads as well?
Don't you have to have it in the shelves?
I have operating policy amongst that, if you wanna know how to, like, grease the loader or change filters, that kind of stuff. And then, of course, those work rules are in there. Do you need some referenced information, or do you need it? or-
No, not at all. I know most department heads have told me they have their own,
It's,
handbook.
we don't change anything that the supervisors put in here. Most of our stuff is administrative, kinda like the administrative code. You know, we require the timesheet to be, you know, in by Friday at 4:30, those type of things, just kind of administrative stuff. These are the holidays, calendar, who's on call, all that stuff is,
When you wanna take leave, do you have like a?
we have a
they
leave
have to-
slip, they have
Leave
to,
slip.
yep, they
I
have,
like leave slips.
they have to, we have a chain of command down there. Of course, Josh is the maintenance superintendent, so everybody that's under him, they have to submit a leave slip for the appropriate leave time. And then he looks at the work schedule to see if it can happen or not, and then ultimately that comes over to me for review. And then everybody in the office side, same thing, I review those leave slips and make signature, and we keep all those leave slips on file. The leave slips are then matched up with our payroll sheets that they turn in. If there's things like doctor's excuses, sometimes when you get a doctor's excuse and you say it's from 8 to 10 and unfortunately yours got scheduled for a longer time, then the employee needs to write on his timesheet that, you know, I checked in, you know, because the doctor ran 4 more tests on me, those type of stuff. But otherwise, the final document that does get signed by the employee and the supervisor, and then ultimately I sign all the management sheets above that, because there's a chain of command to approve that time that's
So do
taken.
you have a big calendar that they might write leave on, so you know when everybody's on leave?
Yeah,
at the shop?
actually, yes, the wonderful staff up front, those slips come over, they go in, and they go to our administrative calendar,
Yeah.
goes out for the employees.
I would like to
Yeah.
see offices, so you know.
Yeah,
I think that's a good idea.
You know, it's, the only disadvantage is when you don't have electricity and you need to look at the calendar, we keep a backup. But so, no, we have a lot of administrative type. If you think of this as the code of Iowa, and then there's an administrative code, and that's kind of what we follow, and that's why I come up here to make sure I don't need to change anything or change some stuff.
Well, I did get a message from a department head asking about the matter of if there's a consequence, then why would we even wanna report it? I guess I'm interpreting that to say, are we incentivizing people to not
That's a
report it?
consequence for not reporting, so you're incentivizing them to report it.
Right.
That's not a valid, if.
I'm kind of concerned, I don't know where that's coming from, but I figure that's why you hire me to administrate the secondary road department and, make, you know, consequences, follow the work rule, follow your policies that you set.
Well, and as serving on the safety steering, I guess I was beyond alarmed when I discovered somebody had reported a workman's comp injury over 100 days after the incident. And we paid that person workman's comp. That should never happen.
No.
Wow, I can't believe that.
Absolutely
right.
not.
And so,
Well, that's where the investigations come in though, because it, how do you,
Yeah, and
know
that-
where it happened,
you know-
what happened, how it
Exactly.
happened, like, there has to be a form
So-
for accident incident.
and that's
report.
where the steering, the smaller safety group, we're getting up to speed on, where we're evaluating those claims and then making sure that, is there something that we need to learn from, that we need to
Yeah.
correct, share with others?
I think the main thing is get the word out to the employees that they need to report it. I have had employees come to me, you know, a couple days later, or the following Monday or Tuesday or whatever, and you know, okay, well, then we have to go through the process. And I rely on that company nurse and the investigating services for that company to take over once that's done. Cause you know, I don't know, you get those weird things like, you know, you felt good now, and then everything's good, and then Monday, for some reason, the guy's back's hurting or whatever.
Yeah.
So that makes it hard, but I really think it's good to educate
Well,
the
here, I just
department
got-
heads and the
I
employees
just got
to get in and make those calls, so we can lower that
So
stuff.
you also have like the near miss accident forms, so then if they don't think they're hurt and they do one of those, and then something happens, then that can change it too.
Well, I don't really have a near miss,
I'm
anything.
not- I
Mitch
wouldn't
talked about
support
it.
it.
Oh, okay, oh, great,
Yeah,
yeah,
we were
great.
discussing
Yeah.
having
Yeah, that
some
was-
sort
yeah.
of a reporting
Perfect.
EMS process so people can, and maybe even, we talked about a fun competition or something, you know, make some fun out of it where, yeah,
See how many
positive,
misses you
we're
can get.
reporting it.
No, anything that can help, reduce, costs and liability, that's, yeah.
But here's a text from a department head, BOS has zero reason to know anything about my employees, so I won't be reporting anything. Well, that's a,
It's to HR.
it's to,
It's
yeah,
to
it's
them and it's
to
to
HR,
HR.
it's to HR, not to us.
No, it's
And
not.
we specified
So
that.
to reassure whoever that is, Diane, yes, I serve on the safety steering committee, but if there's an accident report, an injury report, Kelly and Mitch review that, and then they share that report, but they redact, if there's sensitive information
Sure.
and
Yeah.
employee names, I don't get involved in that, if that's what they're worried about.
I don't know, well,
No.
it maybe just
Yeah, that's
heard
good.
part of the conversation, but now
Yeah,
we
maybe.
clarified that, so we
Okay.
won't do that.
Because currently in the
It's
current.
only to protect the employee too.
Right, in the current handbook, it says reported to the board of supervisor, and our discussion is to change that.
Yeah,
That's right.
So,
and we did, we changed
so
it.
I think they
They may have
catch
missed
the
that
whole
Yeah,
conversation.
it just goes where, if you're still listening, you just report it to HR, not us, just to protect you and your employee, that's.
So, okay, so, I think that was it
That's it.
for the handbook. So, Kelly, sorry that you have taken a lot of stuff to Allers, but
Don't mind
basically
too.
give them a list and say, here you go, buddy,
No, that's
And-
how it usually works, so.
please.
So do we wanna wait and hear from Kelly and Allers and Cooney on, as far as timeline to,
Yeah, she'll make
Review
all
the
the
draft.
changes, send it to him, and he'll send it back to us, and then we'll go
Okay.
through it,
Yeah.
yeah.
So maybe what, 2 weeks?
Oh, let them, that'll be up to them.
see how much time they need once?
Yeah, he's in, union negotiations now,
Oh,
and it's,
yeah.
he's kinda hard to,
Nail down.
but, I have to think that that's,
But you'll get it to him. Yeah,
oh,
sure,
absolutely.
absolutely.
he's,
Okay.
no, he's good at, he responds.
All right, so, and then tonight will you give us an update on when our next round of union contacts and meetings are gonna be?
Is it on the agenda?
It's, it was sent as a calendar invite.
It was,
You said it's a,
Yeah, we already have it.
is that for both, or that's just for,
I,
is that
my
for
assumption
ASME?
it was for both, wasn't it?
Or is it for?
No, it's, Teamsters does not require.
Right,
a
Teamsters,
meeting
I was
this
saying
year. No,
Teamsters.
because they're 3 years.
Teamsters should be just their percentage this year, that's all they get, there's
Right.
no.
They don't
Okay,
get anything
okay.
else. It's the
Okay.
17th,
It's
isn't
the
it?
AFSCME, yes.
Okay.
Representative Adam, I don't know if Jeff will be on the phone or not,
Yeah, it's
and
9:30.
the stewards.
9:30 to 11 we schedule.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, all right, I just wanted to
So,
clarify.
That
yeah,
one was supposed to
they've-
be till this Friday, but
Okay.
yes, it's on our schedule.
Okay, all right. Okay, I don't think if there's anything else on the handbook, otherwise I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved. We'll
Have a
see you at
second?
6.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, so that took 2 hours and 15